All right, welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm going to be answering your YouTube questions about, all the stuff that you are trying to figure out when it comes to YouTube. And my goal today is to have it to where you are hanging out in the stream right now and you're enjoying the content. You're like, yeah, this is great. But then you take either the answer that you got from your question specifically, or you take one of the answers that you got just from listening to me answer somebody else's question. And you're like, never thought of that. I'm going to go apply that to my channel right now. That is my goal today, that some of you will walk away from this and you'll be like, you know what, I'm going to go and start trying to apply some of this stuff to my channel so I can really, start getting this thing rocking, because ultimately, that's what I want you to do, is get this whole YouTube thing rocking for you. So before we get into it, though, I do want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. TubeBuddy will help you tag your videos. It'll help you test your thumbnails. It'll help you find awesome video ideas that you can make videos about. It's going to help you with all kinds of amazing things, including optimizing your videos for search, optimizing your videos for discovery just in general. You can even do like bulk updates to stuff and things like that. Incredible tool. I've been using TubeBuddy for years, and I can tell you that I can lean on TubeBuddy heavily as one of the reasons that my channel has done as well as it has. So you can try TubeBuddy for free down in the description. And just as a heads up, if you have under, I think it's 1,000 subscribers, they even give you a discount. So if you do decide to upgrade, if you under 1,000 subscribers, that's how much they're trying to help content creators. They will even give you a discount if you have under 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. So keep that in mind. I also want to let you know that as a co-sponsor of this stream, we have StreamYard. StreamYard is the live streaming software that I'm actually using right now to, I can pull this up on the screen. StreamYard is the live streaming software that I'm using right now in order to actually control this live stream. Of course, you're going to get that tunneling effect because it's looking at itself, so to speak. But StreamYard is basically the easiest live streaming software on planet Earth. There's a link to StreamYard down in the description as well. But you can see here, you can monitor the chat within StreamYard. You have all these different scenes, that you can choose from, so that you can do different things. You can import guests in here also. I keep shutting it down there. But you can bring guests into the stream really easy. That's how I do that's how I bring in so many guests and things like that every other weekend when I bring in guests, all of that sort of stuff. But you can check out StreamYard as well. You can use StreamYard for free, but you can, of course, upgrade. You're going to want to upgrade on that one as well. So with all of that out of the way, I want to let you know, if you have a question about what it is that you're doing on YouTube, I want you to go ahead and put it down in the description right now. There's a form down in the description of this live stream to where you can just go down there. It's free, 100% free. You just go down there, you put your question down in there. And when you put your question down in there, as long as I get to it here on the stream, because they come in a first come, first serve basis. So you early birds, like, you're in a winning spot right now. And there's not a lot of questions. So get your question down there so that I can answer it here during the stream today. And I also want to, let me switch my mouse or my mice here to make sure that I can pull this up as well. I also want to welcome new channel member, Simon.
To the Nimminati.
Simon Johnson, welcome to the Nimminati. The sound effects should have worked. We got that worked out, I believe, since last week. So welcome to the channel membership. Make sure that next time you're on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP. Also, make sure you check the community feed. There's some free stuff in there for you. Glad to have you as a part of the community. And Facebook, make sure you're also that the community, our members only community on Facebook is awesome. So do not hesitate to interact over there. If you got questions, ask them. Like, that's what it's there for. So head over there and make sure that you interact with the community over there. A bunch of awesome folks hanging out. China Loves Red, what is up? Nice to see you hanging out to read. That's the kind of day I'm having. China Loves to Read. Welcome to the stream. Hope that you are doing awesome. And Chris, thank you for the Super chat. I appreciate it, my man. And Sajd Bilal, thank you for the super chat as well. Those are always appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so one more thing before I start getting into these questions here, because I want to make sure that I get to these questions quickly so I can start, adding some value here to you. But basically, if you have a Twitter account and YouTubers are watching your Twitter account, or they're interacting with you on Twitter, make sure that you share the stream there. Share the stream out there on Twitter right now, so that, we can get some more YouTubers in here. Some other people can come in and learn more about what it is that they're going on their YouTube channel. We're going to be here for about, I don't know, probably like 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. It varies, so we'll just see how the energies flow in here in a few hours, but that's what's going on for now. The Wild Ride, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Saying, oh snap, this is my first time catching a live stream. Thanks for everything that you do. Thank you, The Wild Ride, for everything that you do as a content creator, because you're out there adding value to your community as well. You're doing your thing. There's people that are appreciating your content as well. So thank you for what it is that you're doing. And thank you for having the guts to publish videos to YouTube and put yourself out there for the possible ridicule that, that you can cut, blah, 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 can sometimes come from that. So welcome to the live stream to you. Glad that you caught us here today. Okay, so our first question that we're going to go ahead and pull from the form. Again, the form's down in the description below. The first question is from AVE Zoid. AVE Zoid says, they've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. It's a gaming channel. The goal of the channel is to entertain people. And the question is, how do I get more watch time? This question is for my friend and myself. LOL. Yeah, I'm asking for a buddy, right? But this question is for my friend and for myself. P.S. Congratulations on 666,000 subs, and I love your videos. Yeah, it's kind of creepy, right? I noticed that before I went live today. I was like, 666,000 subscribers. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's a little bit weird, Superstition. It's crazy. It's crazy. But hey, when it comes to getting more watch time, there's a nice handful of things that you can do. At the very core of it, when you're trying to generate more watch time on your YouTube channel, the very core of it, of course, this one kind of goes without saying, but I have to say it because you asked. The very first thing, of course, is you have to make content that people want to stick around for. So you don't have to have people watching 100% of your video. The closer you get to 100%, the better off you're going to be. However, you do want people, when they come into your video, to be like, hey, this is a good piece of content. I'm enjoying here. This person's keeping me engaged, and therefore I'm going to continue watching this video for a longer period of time, right? That's ultimately what it is that you want. Now, in addition to that, if you're trying to accumulate more watch time as a whole on YouTube, then some things that you need to make sure that you're doing is you need to make sure that you're making it easy for people to find more of your content. What I mean by that is somebody that clicks on your video and they come in and they watch your video, if they watch that video for a decent amount of time, then they're interested in what it is that you're doing. You've already won the click. You've already proven that person's interested in what it is that you're doing or the type of content that you have. So because of that, they're qualified to watch another one of your videos. So what you need to do is need to make it easy for them to find more. And the ways that you do that is, of course, you need to make sure that you're recommending specific videos in your end screen and or playlists. And you also need to make sure that you're adding a best for viewer slot in your end screen as well. The win with that is it makes it to where you get to recommend something that you think is relevant to those people that are watching. And in addition to that, YouTube is also using their system to predict what the user is likely to watch next from your channel. So in that case, they take your recommendation that's working for you, and then you have YouTube's recommendation that's working for you on your behalf as well. So it's a win all the way across the board. Second thing you got to make sure that you're doing is, you can see in almost all of my videos, there's a comment that is pinned. And what that means, does this look a little bit jittery to everybody today? I think it is a little bit jittery. I think I've been playing with my frame rates and stuff. It looks fine here, but it looks like it might be coming through jittery. I'm not sure. But anyway, but another thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you're pinning some comments as well. Not all of them, if you don't want to, but when I say pinned comments, you can see right here in the chat. If you look at the very top of the chat right now, there's a pinned comment there as well. It's a pinned chat message. And you have that option to do that same exact thing on your YouTube channel as well, to where you can say, hey, to watch my entire series on whatever it is that you made that video about, click here, click into this playlist. And what you're doing in that situation when you pin that is you put it at the top of your comments. So if somebody watches your video, they're engaged enough. And this is an important part. They're engaged enough to go down into your comment section to actually leave a comment and interact with what it is that you're doing. Then in that situation, they're going to tap it. Even if they're on a mobile phone, they're going to tap it. It's going to open up your comment section. Bam, right in front of their face is you, right? Because it's your name, your profile picture, you recommending another piece of content that's similar to the content that they were watching, so that they can click on that and go through and watch it. So those are two things that you can do easily. You can also use YouTube cards as well to get people onto other videos also. And the thing with YouTube cards is that you want to make sure that you're using those in the last 20% of your video. You don't want to put them towards the front. You want to put them in the last 20% of your video. That's per YouTube's recommendation. They recommend that in the YouTube Creator Academy. A link to that is down in the description below. It's free, provided by YouTube. But you want to use those in the last 20% of your video, because you don't want one of your cards to hurt the performance of the video if a lot of people are leaving for that card. So because of that, you want to make sure that you're putting those towards the end. Now, another thing that's really important, and I think I might have mentioned this, is either in the last video or the video before. Another thing that's also really important is to make sure that however you are putting your thumbnails and titles together to grab somebody's attention and pull them into your video, make sure the expectation that you're building up there, the anticipation of like, hey, this is what's going to be going on in the video. This is something that happened in the video. This is something I'm going to be showing you. This is something outrageous. This is something that you're not going to believe. Like whatever that thing is, make sure that you start delivering on that in the video, because your thumbnail and your title actually create the expectation of what they might get when they actually click on it. Just think how you use YouTube. This is why like testing thumbnails and things like that are important. But basically, when they click on your video, you just want to make sure that their expectation is in the right place, because if you can meet their expectation as they're coming into your video, well, guess what? They're probably going to stick around and watch for a longer period of time. And that's kind of that's the whole idea behind that. So those are just a few things that you can do to generate more watch time on your YouTube channel. Yay! Yay!
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right, so we have new channel members here. We've got
Welcome
Zone
to the Niminati.
Moada Zone. What's up, man? Nice to have you back. I hope that you're well. You already know the deal there with the channel membership. And we've got J. David Slaw.
Welcome to the Niminati.
Welcome to the channel membership for you as well. Next time you are on Facebook, look for Niminati VIP. It's our members only Facebook group. Make sure you fill out everything on the way in, because that's how I verify that you're actually a channel member and all that stuff before I approve it. So make sure that you fill out all that information on the way in, so I can make sure to get you all hooked up there once I see it after the stream. Actually, it probably won't be after the stream. It'll be tomorrow, actually. Hold on really quick. I'm going to open something up here because I think some super chats came through, and I want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody or missing anything here. Make sure that I get your questions answered. And then we're going to get back into the forum right here in a second. But in the meantime, Beanie Draws, what is up, dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic. I Suck Gaming. Hope that you are well. Also, Simply Beth, what is up? Nice to see you here hanging out as well. Always nice to see you in the stream. AVE Zoid saying the stream lagged. I know what happened, I think. So before the stream, I was messing with my my latency settings inside of YouTube. So StreamYard went ahead and put it at 1, and I changed it. And I think that's where it messed up. I think that one's my fault. It's my fault. I should have never done that. Okay, let's see here. So let me go into here. We've got, let's see here, 22nd. That's today. We got iPhone Chris. We got that one. We got Wild Ride. Life of Aran. Thank you for the super chat. Solar Lover from the Philippines. Welcome, or thank you for the super chat there. We got Gallivanting Gal says, hey, Nick, do you suggest going back and retaking your videos as you add videos and subscribers? We're about 9 months and 1,600 subs. We use TubeBuddy already. So if you mean remaking your videos, like let's say that you put out a video on, just because I have it sitting here, let's say you put out a video on, like the phone's a bad one because it's temporary. Let's say that you put out a video on ways to feel great about yourself, right? Then in that situation, if you publish that video back in the day and you think now, a year later, if you're like, you know what, I could really make a much better video now, or we've upgraded our camera, we've upgraded our mics, our presentation is much better, we know how to edit better, our audience is a little bit bigger, so we can get a better response probably right when we publish. In that case, yeah, absolutely remake the video. Don't remake the same exact video, put a little bit of a spin on it a little bit. But yeah, topically, absolutely go for it. That's actually something that is advised to do. So one thing that you want to do, just as a, just something to keep in mind, just when it comes to paying attention to what is happening on your channel in terms of the activity, one thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're being mindful about the videos that are performing for your channel right now anyway. So in addition to making old videos that you think you could make better and that your audience would appreciate now, you can also go into your stats and you can see, hey, over the last 28 days or 90 days, these are the top 10 videos on the channel. These are the ones bringing in all the traffic, all the watch time, all the views to the channel, all the new subscribers. So what does that tell you? That tells you that those videos are the things that people that are subscribing to your YouTube channel right now, those are the things that people are interested in. Those are the ones people are clicking on. Those are the ones that people are being introduced to you by. So what you can do in that situation is you can take that content and you can say, okay, if I have people coming in and they're interested in these videos about how to feel great about yourself, well, you know what? I'm real. Haram, I'm absolutely real. But what I'm going to do in that situation is I'm going to go ahead and make those videos or make similar topic videos for the sake of making sure that I'm putting out content that's of interest to the stuff that people care about on my YouTube channel right now. So in addition to the old content, you can definitely make the new content. Now, to just give you an example, on my channel previously, I had a situation to where I put out a video and, I didn't always do YouTube related stuff, right? Like I was doing things like, how to stay productive when you're working in a coffee shop, how to stay motivated, that kind of stuff, because I wasn't doing YouTube stuff because I didn't know anything about YouTube at that time. So when I was making that type of content, I made one about how to name your next project because that was in alignment with the things that I was doing at the time. So that video, horrible, bad video, right? Like the video itself was okay, but in terms of the response, it was garbage. So because of that, maybe a year later, once I did start doing, maybe a year and a half later, once I did start doing like YouTube related stuff, I did it, maybe about a year later, I did one on naming your YouTube channel because that's kind of where I was at in the journey at the time. So because of that, I put that video out and it did okay. And then I took about another year and I did the same video, how to name your YouTube channel again. And that particular video ended up doing fantastic in comparison to the other two. So, remaking content, even though it's similar content, my brother D actually made the same exact video by accident. He had his bullet points, had the B-roll for it and everything. And he ran across and he's like, oh, wait, I didn't even make this video. And he made it again, same exact video, made it again. And the second video ended up performing well for him as well. So absolutely something to give a shot there. And another thing just to think about, like when you are, like with everybody, hanging out, like when you are thinking about, like, oh, well, what if people have already seen that video? Well, one thing I want to encourage you to think about is that not everybody that subscribed to your YouTube channel today is going to go back and watch all the content that you put out on your channel. Right. So because of that, you want to just think to yourself like, okay, yeah, sure. I've got an extra 500 subscribers this month. And out of 500 subscribers, there's probably not that many that have went through my entire, audience or my entire library and watched all the content that I have. So because of that, that opens me up to where I can start introducing them to things. So a lot of you that have been watching my content for a while, you'll see that I'll have topically, I have things that I have to keep letting people know because a lot of new YouTubers come into the channel. So because of that, I have to keep, making similar videos and I have to keep going over similar ideas. But what I do for you guys that keep coming back over and over again that are like, hey, I've seen him talk about how to get subscribers before, is I try to add some additional things to it so that there's even more value there for people that, that are just coming into the channel, or I'll just mix things up a little bit. So it'll be like, hey, I haven't talked about, this tactic in a while. So I'll go ahead and, mention that and that sort of thing, even though it's the same topically, the information that's contained within the video is different. Oh, and you said retagging is the next super chat. All of that. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, all of that tirade that I just went on, I thought you were meaning remaking. Okay, so retagging. Okay, so when it comes to retagging your videos, I wouldn't even worry about retagging your videos, to be honest with you. Like the tags, sure, they add context to what's going on in the video, but the most important efforts that you can put into your YouTube channel is paying attention to what's going on in your thumbnail, title, and description. More so your thumbnail and title than everything, because from the outside, people are making the choice on if they're going to click on what it is that you made or not, from your thumbnail and from your title. So because of that, instead of going through and re-optimizing everything else, like your description, your titles and all that stuff, you can, if you're like, hey, I just want to go and tidy things up and all that, because, I was using this tag for this before because I didn't know what I was doing and it's not really relevant. Like I put, how is one word and to is another word. And because of that, that's just the wrong approach because there's zero context whatsoever. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to delete stuff like that, maybe add a few at that point in time. In that case, if you have the extra time, sure, go through, tidy things up, make it a little bit tighter. But in terms of, something that's going to move the needle for you, that's going to come down to your thumbnails and titles. So if you're like, hey, I've got a limited amount of time. I just made a video about this. My last video is about this. But it's like, if you have a limited amount of time, then take that time and spend it towards things or on things that are actually going to make a big difference for you, or that have the biggest potential of making the difference. Instead of spending that time on things that are not really going to, make that big of a difference for you. All right, so I'm going to refresh that real quick. I think that was all that I had for those. Now we're going to get into the form. Okay, we got the watch time question all taken care of there. Let me back this up. Oh, we had another super chat come in. I'm going to answer this question here really quick before we get into this super chat about the easy camera to start with. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and answer that one just because that's a fast one. So Nairi Squares, thank you for the super chat, Squires. And the question is, what is a good camera to start with, an easy camera to start with? Currently, I'm using my phone. So personally, I think that, upgrading from phones can be advantageous because it gives you more, options of things that you can do. However, phones are getting pretty close, right? Like you can do some amazing content with phones. And if you have the right lighting and things like that, in a lot of cases, a phone will do the trick for you just by itself without you having to do, add anything else to it in terms of a DSLR. But the win, do I have one sitting around that I can reference? I do. I'll be right back and I will grab it for you real quick. You know what? Actually, I can do it from right here. So like, if you look at this camera right here, that's on the screen right now. So the difference is when you are recording with a phone, right? In that situation, like you can't just change a lens. Sure, you can get like moment lenses and things like that, where you can, make some adjustments to it. But in terms of like really fine tuning a look, if you have a look that you're trying to get, then in that situation, I wouldn't necessarily go with the easiest camera. I would go with the camera that's going to get the job done in terms of matching the look that you're trying to go for. Now, as an example, with this lens that I have on this particular camera, same lens I have on the other camera as well, like I can take this lens, right? And let me just find something really quick to hold up to it. This is going to be an Energizer battery plug here, but basically like I can go like this and then you can see it just like instantly snaps into it and the background looks all cool and all of that stuff just by, and it's just doing all that stuff, really fast in real time. And that's really hard to get with a phone to where it can be that dynamic. So because of that, I would think of what kind of look am I going for and how am I actually trying to present my content? And then I'm going to build the camera around that. So a few options for you. This camera right here, it would help if I change to it. This camera right here is a Sony 5100. This thing right here is about $500. I think it's like $400 or $500 for this particular camera. Great looking camera. It's fast. The autofocus is the same as the one that I was showing you a minute ago. However, a difference in the two is that this lens is the difference, right? So for example, if I take this right here, it's going to do that same exact thing where it's going to zoom in, right? Now, when I zoom in on that, then one of the things that happens is that lens takes over, and that lens is what really makes this camera awesome. It's not the camera itself. The camera's good, but the lens is what makes this camera look as clear and as nice as it does. So when it comes to deciding what camera you got to get, then in that situation, you want to think, okay, I'm going to get a camera, but I also want to work a budget into my lens as well. So when it comes to an easy camera, like the Canon M50 is good if you're just using it for photo and video. I used to use one of those for my webcam, but I gave it to my girlfriend recently. But this one right here, that 5100 is the replacement for that. Also, really good camera, really easy to use, lower cost, but the lens on it. The lens costs more than the camera. Well, actually, in Thailand it did, but in the States, I'm not sure if that's where you are. But if you're in the States, this lens, I think you can get it for about like $350 now. But it's a Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4 for this particular lens. But the camera is important, but the lens is also really important. So when you're considering a camera, just look for like a Sony 5100, look for a Sony, like this one right here, this is an A6500. This one over here is an A6500. And I got these just because they were known to be good cameras. I'm not like a camera spec guy. I just asked, other YouTubers like, hey, what do you use? What kind of camera is that? Because I like that look that you have. And this lens right here was also recommended as well. So, just think of the look that you want to go with and then think, okay, how much is it that I'm wanting to spend? So, somebody here, Christian, Ermler landscape photography vlog. Just because they have vlog in their name, that gives me another thing to think about is depending on the type of content that you make. Also, Nairi, if you're doing vlogging content, we're going to be out in the world, then this type of camera might not be a great fit for you. Like this is okay. I've done some vlog stuff with this with a different lens on it. But in that situation, you might just want to get one of the new GoPros with a mic on it because those things are fantastic also. So it really depends also on what it is that you're actually trying to do or the type of content it is that you make on your channel. All right. So next question here is from Legend X. And Legend X says they upload one time per week or more. It's a gaming channel. They do gaming content. The goal of the channel is entertainment. And the question, is it better to revive a dead channel or start a new one? So if the dead channel is something to where, let's say, for example, you had a channel talking about eyewear, then in that particular situation, you have this channel talking about eyewear. And if you, holy cow, Roger Wakefield in here dropping the heat. Look at all the, holy cow, Roger Wakefield. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Look at you, man. You go. The expert plumber in the house dropping the serious super chats. He's going to be up here. I think it's going to pin you here for like the entire, well, my thing froze there. There we go. I think it's going to pin you here for the entire chat, Roger. But Roger says, thank you for all the great information.
Super chat.
Thank you for all the great information. 10,000 subs in 1 month, 800,000 views, and first sponsor signed. Thank you, Nick Nimmin. What you teach works. Love you, brother. Thank you, Roger, man. Awesome to hear that you got that sponsorship deal coming through. That came through. I know that you were that you had mentioned something about that in social media marketing world. So awesome to see that it had came through, and just love watching you blow up, man. Like he's posting, Roger's posting messages on his like LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and everything. Like just every couple days, like another milestone, just blowing up. Absolutely love it. Thank you for that, Roger. I appreciate it, man. And sweet high five and fist bump on the sponsorship deal too. That's a win. Big win. So next up on our list, we have Shobham Sharma. Shobham Sharma says they've been on YouTube for less than a month. They do educational content, programming. Did I answer that last one? I don't think I did. Hold on real quick. I think I got distracted by Roger's bomb there that he dropped. Oh yeah, to revive a dead channel or start a new one. Okay, so if you have content, we'll just say plumbing as an example. If you have content where you are doing like plumbing content, and then you're like, hey, I'm going to walk away from the channel for a while. You know what? Actually, I worked with somebody that did this with barbecue. So let's say they just hit me up to ask if I was still doing, working with people. But basically, with the barbecue channel, he did great. Everything was going good, but his barbecue business like took away from what he was able to do for YouTube. He got really busy there, and he wasn't able to continue his YouTube channel. So he stopped, and he hasn't been uploading for the past, I don't know, year and a half, maybe 2 years on his YouTube channel. But he still went because he's applied all the stuff. He still went from like 30 to 70,000 subscribers in that time. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to push for it. I'm going to push for 100K, maybe even 250. So I'm going to come back to it. So in his particular case, and you can think of this when you're thinking of launching like an old channel or a new channel, when he comes back into it, he's going to be coming back into it still making the same type of content. So because of that, the people that have interacted recently in his content, because your channel still gets activity in the background, even if you're not uploading to it, if you upload quality stuff and you follow the best practices. So because of that, the activity that's still happening on his channel is still based around barbecue. So when he starts uploading to his channel again, he starts uploading barbecue related content. Great fit. Bam. He should be uploading to that channel again when he comes back. Now, if he were to start vlogging and the channel was about, or gaming, and he's like, hey, now I'm just going to start, making gaming content, then in that situation, that's when he should start a new channel, because even though he has subscribers over on this one, the audience the audience that's there and the current library that's there, that's pulling people into the channel every day, that content isn't a good fit for the new stuff that, or the new approach that, that he would be wanting to take in that situation if he were to start doing gaming content. So that's something that you want to consider when it comes to launching a new channel or doing a new channel or an old one. Life with Lonnie, thank you. Yeah, I got the depth of field going on this one. This is the same kit. This one and this one over here is the same. And then the one that I have sitting right up here, this is the 5100, but the same lens. So it's a similar look. This one just doesn't give as much detail as these two do. Absolutely love this camera. Okay, next up on the list, we've got Shobham Sharma. And the channel type is programming education. And the goal of the channel says, I want to spread my knowledge to fellow audience who wants to learn programming and related stuff. The question is, I want to start a YouTube channel on programming / coding and related stuff like vlog or something. So should I know the programming languages perfectly to start? And what kind of things should I do? Thanks, Nick, for the motivation. It really helps. Okay. So if you haven't started a YouTube channel yet, for anybody that's watching this, let me know if you are watching this and you don't have a YouTube channel yet, but you're thinking of starting one. Let me know. Just give me a hashtag me, just so I can see, if you are, that type of, person or not that is doing that. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just wanting to know for the advice that I'm getting ready to share here. So No More Tomorrow says, how do you toggle back and forth between cameras? Currently, I'm using, and this is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, I'm using the ATEM Mini. You know what? I might be able to see if I can do this without, because the camera will pick it up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what this is, let me see if I can hide behind it so it doesn't get my face. Come on, camera. Okay, and I'll pull back to that. Oh, almost. It's still wanting to get me. Oh, it's my focus zone. There we go. This is an ATEM Mini. And basically, it's a switcher. So what this does is it basically works as a capture card. And since it works as a capture card, it allows me to switch back and forth between cameras. I've got the other camera over there as well. And you can also do some really cool stuff with this. Well, I won't say really cool stuff. There's one really cool thing that you can do. I don't want to hype it up because, you know, it's a pretty simple device. But you can do something to where you can set up something called macros. And with those macros, you can program it. So technically, I wouldn't even have to switch it. But sometimes I just like to switch it, you know, just for the sake of, you know, switching it. But you can set it up to where you can just have it automatically switching. You can say, hold this camera for 10 seconds, switch to that camera for 3 seconds, switch over to this camera for 5 seconds, switch to that camera over there for another 4. And you can just have it, you know, switching around like the entire time. If you want to, and you can put it on loop. So you can set up like a cool sequence so it doesn't feel the same every time. And then just run it on loop, which is pretty cool. But in terms of if you are starting a YouTube channel and you are one of those people that are like, yeah, because we got a few of those me's in here. So if you are, if you're starting a YouTube channel and you don't really know what content it is that you want to put out yet, I really encourage you to go ahead and either one of two approaches to take. One is to take the approach of, you know what, I'm just going to start uploading videos on all the different things I'm interested in. I'm going to see if anything takes off, right? That's one approach. That's something that YouTube recommends. Like if you have no clue, then just do that. And then as soon as you notice, wow, people really like it when I make videos like this, double down on that content and focus everything on that type of content because YouTube has found the right audience for what it is that you make, right? But if you are coming into it and you know, just like Shobham here, if you're coming into it and you know, hey, I'm going to be making programming content. And since I'm making programming content, I don't really know what videos to make. In that situation, you have to do the work. This is part of being a content creator. You got to do the work. You have to sit down, take an afternoon if you have to, you know, whatever time you have, you know, like when you're taking a break at your job before you go to bed at night, something like that. What you want to do is you want to literally sit down and write down like 100 video ideas, at least 50. So you can get out, 52 video ideas. So you can get a video out a week, but write out your video ideas and then start thinking to yourself, okay, these are all the different things that I can show people about programming. And in your specific case, you're saying, do I have to know how to do programming perfectly? No, because people will follow you on that journey. If you know how to program something, even at a basic level, like I don't know programming, I can like workshop WordPress and stuff like that. But in terms of sitting down and just writing code, I can do that in like old school HTML, but I can't do that. Like I can't write software or anything like that. So for me, if I was wanting to learn how to do something like that, I don't care if somebody's like an advanced, programmer. I could care less. What I care about is, can that person help me get from point A to point B on this little problem that I'm trying to solve? Can they help me fix this or understand this idea that comes to coding? So when it comes to your situation to where you're like, hey, I'm a coder and I'm good, but I'm just not like perfect yet, then in that situation, just, let people know in your content, hey, I've only been doing this for, a year and there might be a better way to do this, but I found this way that works well for me. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Right. And just be upfront with people, because you're not, as long as you don't claim to be perfect at it, then nobody's going to expect you to be perfect at it. Right. So just be transparent with people and you'll be fine. All right. Next up on our list here. Next on our list. I actually made this, but it didn't come out good.
Next question.
Yeah, it's horrible. So I'm probably not going to hit that button again. Okay. So next up on our list, we have Donut Dude. Donut Dude says they have a gaming channel, mainly Minecraft. And the goal of the channel is to help people get better and entertain. And the question is, what tips do you have on getting noticed more, getting ranked in views? If you want to rank your videos, for everybody that's watching this, if you want to rank your videos, if you want them to rank in YouTube search, if you want them to rank, or if you want them to be discovered anywhere on the YouTube platform, you got to get people to click. Like if you watch my last 50 videos, the big core of the thing that I talk about and I bring up in almost every video, as long as it's not like a tool video or something, the big core of it is you got to get people to click, got to get people to watch. You got to think of the viewer experience. You got to get people to respond. Because if you can't do that, then your content isn't just going to magically get shown to people all over YouTube. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean that your content has to be exactly like another content creator. It doesn't mean that you have to have the best camera like we were talking about before. You could do everything on your phone and your videos could still blow up if people respond to them. Your thumbnails might be ugly. You might have the ugliest thumbnails on YouTube to where it's like, like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe people are clicking on these. But if people are clicking on them, it's all that matters. Doesn't matter how pretty your thumbnails are, right? So like when you think of like, how do I get people to respond? It's not necessarily, I got to make everything perfect or I got to make everything look a certain way or I got to, do these certain things. But the idea is to think, I'm noticing that when I publish videos where I do these sorts of things, people are responding to it. So because of that, I'm going to continue to do more of those types of things so that people will respond more. Right. And then you just perfect what it is that they're actually responding to. So because of that, what you got to think about is if you're trying to get your videos ranked, one, you got to research because when you're trying to rank your videos, you have to make sure that you can compete in those spots that you're going after. And research is going to help you do that. TubeBuddy will help you do that as well. But when you're putting all that stuff together, you have to think, okay, am I able to compete with these other videos that are here? And by am I able to compete, I mean, are like the way that they are packaging up their videos with their thumbnail and title. Are your titles going to be as compelling or more compelling than the other videos that you're competing against? Are your thumbnails going to be as compelling or more compelling than the other videos that you're competing against? If you have everybody, right? If you have everybody on a search result that's like, hey, in under 3 minutes, under 8 minutes, in under a minute, then in your situation, it's like, what? If they've got all of those videos, let me be the standout person and do something to where it's like, deep explanation tutorial or, however you would, make that compelling to where it explains the idea of, I'm not trying to help you do it in a minute. I'm trying to help you like deeply understand this, right? To where you go against them. So, being able to research your competition for the sake of those sorts of things is really important. And also watching their videos. Like if you're trying to rank and search, watch the videos that you're ranking up against. Adam's Exploits, what's up, dude? Welcome to the live stream. But if you are trying to rank against other people, just straight up, just watch their videos. Go type in the search result that you're trying to rank for, or type in the search term that you're trying to rank for. Look at the results on that page. When you're looking at the results on that page, just say to yourself, okay, clicking on all these. I'm going to watch all these videos and I'm going to see how they're opening the videos. What does the hook look like? What are they saying in the hook? If it's animation, what are they doing to grab somebody's attention when this video first starts? If it's a tutorial, what are they doing to grab somebody's attention and pull them through? What promise are they making to the potential viewer of this particular video when they are clicking on it? Once they arrive in the video, what experience does the viewer have? Don't watch it and judge from the perspective of like, oh, this sucks or this is great or whatever. Just look at it from a strategic standpoint. Okay, I just watched the first 5 seconds of this video. How could I do that first 5 seconds better than they can? Right? And you just keep doing that through the entire video. Okay, so they did this. What could I do there? Could I make it more succinct? Could I do it in a way to where it would just be more impactful or easier to understand? They just use tons of language that you have to like really know what's going on in order to even use whatever it is that they're sharing. So because of that, maybe if I come in from a lower approach to where I'm communicating from a level to where, more people will be able to understand it, maybe that's going to be my way in. Right. But when you're watching other people's videos, then from a strategic standpoint, then you can start identifying those types of things to where you can start trying to find the position that you can slide into, so to speak. But at the end of the day, you got to get people to click. If people aren't clicking, then your videos aren't going to magically show up on homepages. They're not going to magically get suggested more. They're not going to magically, show up for search rankings. Like you have to get people to respond to what it is that you're doing in order for any of that stuff to take place. If you can't get people to respond, then none of that stuff is going to happen for you. Until you learn to make it happen, right? Until you learn to get people to respond. Okay, next up on our list, and I just saw Super Chat come in. Let me answer this here really quick. Okay, we've got another Super Chat came in from Super Chat. Jeff Lauder Esquire says, a year ago, you said pro it up. I have a new format. It's working. Popping video, 23 subscribers, 6 minutes average watch time, 10% click-through rate. I'm about to double down. I'd like you to review the first 60 seconds. Thoughts on the next step, newest video. Hey, man, so here's the thing. I can't watch videos on the stream. Okay, just as a heads up, and I know right now you're going like, oh, gosh. Why did I do that? Just shoot me a message on Twitter. Okay. Shoot me a message on Twitter, DM me on Twitter, and I'll watch it from there and I'll type out some information for you. But the reason that I can't watch it on the stream is because, and this is something that I've always told people, but it actually happened to me, is basically when I watch videos on a live stream, the possibility, and yours might be fine, but the possibility of there being something on the image or some type of sound that happens in your video or something like that, that can cause me to get a copyright claim or a strike. That's something that I just can't risk on the channel. And I hope you understand, Jeff. But I actually had that happen to me. So basically somebody sent me something to use in a video, somebody like a reputable company, and I used it and I got a copyright claim. So because of that, and it's on an old video too, like it flew under the radar for a really long time. And I expected it to be cleared from them. And when it got the actual claim on it, I think it's from like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago on that particular video. And, when I got it, I was like, yeah, it's all clear. Is this all clear? Yeah, it's clear. And then the company that they just hired to police this stuff for them, they just put a claim on the video like 2 weeks ago. So just as a heads up, like that's why I can't do that sort of thing here on the stream with watching videos. But just shoot me a DM on Twitter, and then I'll check it out for you. But awesome to hear that you're starting off well. That's fantastic, or that you're leveling things up, I should say. I always feel bad when super chats like that come in and it's like I can't do it. I'm like, I always feel bad. So please, Jeff, send me a DM on Twitter or on Instagram. Instagram, either one. Twitter's probably better because then I can look on my computer instead of looking at it on my phone. Paul Peck Drywall in the house. What's up, dude? Okay, next up we've got Josh Chua. Josh Chua says they upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do gaming and vlogs, but mostly gaming. The goal of the channel is to entertain people. And the question is, why do I keep losing likes on my videos? By the way, my friend AVE Zoid dares you to drink water instead of coffee. I love it. That's so good. Okay, so AVE Zoid, I just want to say that I've noticed that in the last, I think 2 or 3 live streams, how you've been saying that in the chat, and you'll say it like before the live stream even starts, how you'll be like, hey, I dare you to drink water instead of coffee. So just as a heads up, my coffee is only to here, right? So I've got about a half cup left of coffee. And as soon as that's done, I've got a whole thing of water that I'm going to start pouring into there just for you. But I'm drinking coffee with it. But I just think it's hilarious that you snuck that in there. It's fantastic. Okay, so when you it's just clever. So I just got a kick out of it. So sorry everybody that I just got a kick out of that there. Okay, so when it comes to losing likes on your videos, basically what happens there is YouTube systems are constantly looking to verify the activity that's happening on channels in terms of the view counts, the watch time, the likes, the comments, the dislikes, all that stuff. So because of that, what can happen is when bot accounts run through channels, and they're not necessarily targeting you, but bot accounts will act like they're normal people or they're normal users on the platform. But once their system detects that, they're using a pattern of some kind, then what will happen is they'll go through and they'll delete those accounts. When they delete those accounts, then it will actually remove the likes from your videos or just any activity that wasn't legitimate activity. So it could also be something, and I don't know this one, but I'm guessing just from a way that you'd be able to police that, it could also be something to where if let's say a bot hit your video and then just liked it and then left, and all of that happened in a certain amount of time, there could be some type of verification thing that happens on there. If you have super fans that come in, they just give you a like real quick because they're like, hey, I just want to I don't have time to watch this, but I'm just going to click it, give it a like and leave. Maybe I'll watch it later. Then in that situation, that might also be something weird. I don't know. But, that would be something that I would do in terms of, verifying that sort of thing. But again, I don't know that that's how they do it. But in terms of the bot accounts and them deleting those and, verifying all the activity that happens on the videos, that thing absolutely does happen without question.
Super chat.
Tax Shack Tom Curry says, hey, Nick, will watch time and engagement outrank SEO? Thank you. So watch time and engagement is how you win at SEO. So it's not that it outranks SEO, but basically if you want your videos to rank in search, you have to get watch time. You have to get clicked, watch time and engagement, right? And watch time is actually considered engagement too. So you have to get clicks and you have to get the engagement. So the same exact thing goes. If your videos are getting clicked and they're getting engagement on search, then YouTube is gonna notice that, and they're gonna notice that people are responding positively to these videos, and then they'll start, they'll sample those videos on home pages and next to other videos on the platform. And the win with that is if you can get people to respond in search and they're responding well, then one, they'll maintain those search rankings, which is a win. But two, they'll also, sample you on other YouTube features as well to try to give the viewer a satisfactory experience by showing them your video. So because of that, absolutely, watch time and engagement is extremely important. And it's not that they outrank SEO. Like, you can have a video. Let's talk about that for a second. This is a really good question. So if you are trying to rank a video in search, you can have your keyword title, or you can have your keyword in the title. You can have, your keywords in the description and all the different ways. You can have like supporting tags. You can even have backlinks coming into your video, right, from elsewhere on the web. However, if people still don't respond to that video, if they're still not clicking on it because your thumbnail and or your title sucks, or it's just not compelling enough, or there's just not a high interest in that video. Like, let's say, for example, you make a video on, like how to get Nick Nimmin to drink more water in a live stream, right? You might think like, oh, hey, I rank #1 for that, but nobody's looking for that, right? So except for AVE Zoid. AVE Zoid might be looking for that, but everybody else, they're not looking for that. So because of that, you would only be able to expect one click maybe from AVE Zoid if they happen to look for that particular term, right? So, you have to think of the actual interest, but then you got to think also, you have to be able to convert people, because what YouTube is ultimately trying to generate from every feature is they're trying, and what I mean is every discovery feature, from search, from browse, from suggested, is what they're trying to do for even your subscription feed. Well, your subscription feeds are in order, but and on trending and all that good stuff. What they're trying to do is they're trying to generate as much watch time per impression as possible. So if you can help them serve that goal, you're going to win. You're going to do fine, right? You don't need, like, if you take all the complicated stuff out of it, if you take like algorithm, if we just remove the word algorithm from our vocabulary, and you just think to yourself, okay, my job as a content creator is I need to be able to get people to respond to my videos with a click and a watch and further engagement. And the reason for that is because if I can do that, if I can accomplish that goal of getting people to watch my videos for a longer period of time and click on those videos in the first place, then in that situation, I'm going to be giving YouTube what it is that they want. And they want that because they want their viewers to have a good experience on the platform, so they'll keep coming back to the platform, so they can keep serving ads to them, right? And just so they can have a great experience, just keep them coming back for everything. So when YouTube does an awareness campaign about something, that it has viewers to put that awareness campaign in front of, right? So when you think of how can I help YouTube serve their goal of giving viewers the content that they are the most interested in or the most likely to watch, or content that they really enjoy, and you think, how can I do that, right? Instead of thinking like, how can I get more? 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 If you start thinking, how can I make just an awesome experience for somebody that's just like randomly clicking on videos? How can I make my thumbnail and title resonate with somebody in terms of them seeing it and thinking like, oh yeah, I got to click this? Or how can I use my thumbnail and title together to let somebody, a particular type of viewer that I'm trying to reach, how can I use those two together to have somebody identify that my video is for them, right? Is my video for moms, right? Is my video for crafters? Is my video for people making quilts? Is my video for, people who love tech? Is my video for MacBook users? Is my video for YouTubers? Just like you see in my titles and my thumbnails all the time, like, it's rare that I have them, but it's rare that I'll put out a video that doesn't have YouTuber either in the title or the thumbnail. And the reason for that, like I mention all the time, is that if I have YouTuber in the title and or thumbnail, my video is for you, right? You know that whatever is behind that thumbnail and title, even if you've never seen my content before, that it's for you, right? You know that, hey, this has something to do with what it is that with something that I'm doing. So because of that, I might click on this because it seems like it's something interesting and see what's going on here with this particular Nick guy, right? And then you'll be like, hey, maybe I learned something here. Or you'll click on it and you'll be like, this dude's way too old to listen to on YouTube. I'm like, I'm like 17 and I'm not going to take advice from this dude. So I'm out of here. And then you leave in the first like 3 seconds. But hey, you came back for the live stream. So, thanks for hanging out. I just made all of that complete scenario up right there. But anyway, you get the idea though. Like what I'm saying is that, by targeting you and letting you know as a YouTuber that my video is for you, then in that situation, it's a good fit. And you have to think of how you can do that. So you got to let people know the video is for them, or at least make it intriguing enough enough. If you're making content that has more of a broad reach, then you got to make it intriguing enough for people to just want to click on it anyway when it happens to them on YouTube, when it just gets presented to them somewhere on the platform. All right. So next up on our list here, we have, let's see here, we've got that one. Okay, next up, we've got Richard Walsh from Career Dev and Finance. Richard Walsh says that he's been on YouTube for less than 6 months. The channel is Career Development and Personal Finance. The goal of the channel is to provide info to an audience on ways to improve their career and financial standing. Near-term channel goal is to become monetized within a year, 9 months left. The question is, how often is it that the case that the videos don't perform well at launch end up almost magically gaining traction months later? I've had this happen to one video, but curious to see how rare or often the case is. Thanks. It's actually pretty common. So basically what can happen, especially if you are, like starting to get momentum, but you don't really have like an audience yet. What can happen is you can publish the video today and you're like, oh, this video tanked. But then, YouTube runs it through your audience or the people that they think are the most likely to watch it. And let's say after a week goes by, it just kind of, tapers off and just kind of dies. But then you notice, you check into your stats, a month later, 2 months later, 6 months later, and you're like, wow, I didn't even realize this video got, 50,000 views on it or 100,000 views on it over time. And what happens in that situation is that YouTube finally ends up identifying the right people for that video. And then it will go and try to find other people that they think would get a good quality experience from that particular video as well. And as long as that match keeps happening to where their system correctly identifies that, then it will cause those videos to come up out of nowhere. I actually had an entire series. And, if you've been in these streams a lot, you've probably heard this story before, but I had a series that I was doing called Mobile Mondays. And that series was just about, mobile content creators. And this is part of where Dee's, the whole channel topic came from as well, is like that particular series. I was like, hey, nobody's really serving mobile content creators that much, so I'm going to. And I made a nice handful of videos for it, and they all tanked, all of them. And I was like, okay, well, they don't want this, I'm done, and I'm not going to make any more of these. Well, I think it was like 4 months or 6 months later, all of those videos got a lift, and 2 of those videos ended up being primary traffic drivers to my channel for a long time, for like 2 years straight. So because of that, those videos that I gave up on ended up being some of the most valuable videos on my YouTube channel. So absolutely, that's a common thing. It's just, at the end of the day, it comes down to, YouTube just finding that right audience that's a good fit for the channel. All right, so here, let me use this mouse here. I've got like 2 computers I'm accessing here. Okay, so we've got Taylor's Mood says, recently I noticed that sometimes I'll comment on a video, and when I go back to see that it's gone, why is it that, and will it affect my channel? Okay, so Taylor's Mood, if you go and you comment on another video and then you go back to it and you see that it's gone, what's happening is either YouTube is shadow banning that comment for some reason, or the content creator is shadow banning that comment for some reason or completely removed it. And what can happen there in that situation is you'll find a lot of people that do like subscribe for subscribe stuff or any clever way they try to go about it. Or even if people do things like, hey, this is a great video. On my channel, I make this type of content. I'm really trying to figure out a great way to get it in front of enough people to where they'll come and, really enjoy this great content that I've made for them. Keep up the great work. And they try to do all these clever, mental, verbal gymnastic ways of trying to get people to click on their comment so they'll go and watch their videos. That kind of stuff, like people that have any experience with this whatsoever, they identify that right out of the gate. Oh, this is a person just trying to, leech views from my audience. So because of that, I'm just going to, I'll either hide the user from the channel completely to where they'll post a comment and they can just keep posting it and it just never, like I never see it, the audience never sees it, they see it though, or I'll just delete it because I'll be like, whatever way that you're trying to do that, it wasn't cool. So I'm just going to delete the comment. Other things can happen as well, depending on the type of thing that you are saying in your comments. Like if you attack somebody or you say something that is already like, this can happen without the creator even realizing it's happening. So inside of every YouTube channel, there's something called a blocked words list. I have it on my channel. Everybody watching this that has a YouTube channel has it on theirs. And with a blocked words list, what that is is you can put in just like a humongous amount of words and phrases into this blocked words list. And it can be things like, sub for sub, or it can be things like, and I have a video coming out about this too, by the way, but it can be things about, like sub for sub, or, it can be a bunch of, bad words, or, we'll just call it strong language because that's probably more appropriate. But it could be, strong language, or let's say that you have something that people are always coming at you for and you just don't like it, right? Like for me, like let's say that people are always talking about something like, me being a 4 eyes, right? That doesn't happen. But if they were, and if I got personally offended, if I actually cared, then I could be like, okay, 4 eyes. Then I'm going to put the number 4 eyes, and I'm going to put FOUREYES. And I'm going to do that sort of thing in my banned words list so that anytime somebody leaves a comment with those words in it, it automatically goes into held for review. That means it gets taken out from public view, gets thrown into held for review. And since it's in held for review, the creator has the option. Like, you don't even have to go in there and look at it or not. Or, if you don't want to. So because of that, like, I don't look at mine. So all the stuff that's in there held for review, some of it is just collateral damage. And that means that, like they didn't mean anything bad by it. Maybe they just, maybe they just happened to say the wrong thing. So in that one particular situation, maybe even somebody that is active in the community, maybe in that one particular situation, because they mentioned a trigger word that maybe I didn't think of the context that they would be using it in, then in that situation, it just gets tossed into review. And then, I may or may not see that particular comment, but I don't even look at those anymore. So, but that's one of the things that can happen. Other things, if YouTube does notice that you're leaving copy and paste comments, they'll do it on their own. So there's also a spam section, held for review and spam. And basically the spam section, if you're somebody that, and this is still for Taylor's Mood, and this is something for you as well, to where if you do any type of copy and paste, or you just always say the same comment, nice video, nice video, nice video, nice video, nice video, nice video, and YouTube detects that, then they'll start holding them for review automatically as well, because it's just like a copy and paste thing, and that can get it held for review or have it tossed automatically into the spam. And then if it's tossed into the spam, then in that situation, you won't be able to, you won't be able to publicly post, unfortunately, at least on those particular channels or just as a whole.
Super chat.
So the next question that we have here is from The Love of Living. Thank you for the super chat, The Love of Living. I appreciate it. Glad that you are enjoying the content here. So one thing that I want to tell you guys really quick as well is when you are, just in case that, did you know about the blocked words thing? Just give me a yes or no. Because if you didn't, I'll tell you exactly how to get to it, so that you can do it as well. So just let me know if you don't know what the blocked words list is or how to get to it. Just do a yes or no, and then I will. I'll go ahead and I'll verbally walk you through it. So you can just kind of bookmark this part in the stream and come back, or you can just do it while I'm talking you through it. We've got yes, we've got a oh yes. So we got yes, 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 yes. We got a no, we got another no, we got some no's. Okay, so when it comes to the blocked words list, this is really quick. For those of you that know, this is just going to take a second. Basically, for the blocked words list, what you have to do is you have to go into your creator studio. Now, if you're on a mobile device, if you're a mobile content creator, you have to do this. You can't do it through the Creator Studio app. You have to do this using desktop mode in your Google Chrome. So in order to do that, and I've mentioned this in my last video too, so you need to be watching all my videos. But in order to do this, what you have to do is to use it in desktop mode is if you go into Google Chrome down here in the bottom, you're going to see the little option right there, the 3-dot menu. And then after you see that, you're going to see right here where it says request desktop site. That's what you want to click on in order to use desktop mode. Once you do that, you can click into your YouTube channel, into the back end of your YouTube channel, just like you're on a computer. So as you click into that, you want to click up on your channel profile picture. If you're a mobile creator, this is all going to be new for you probably, but you want to click on your profile picture up here on the very top. And then once you click on your profile picture, you want to click on the option that says Creator Studio. Once you click on that, then you're probably going to get a screen that looks something like this, where it's just kind of like a bunch of icons saying, you should use this from another browser or whatever. And then just click on Skip to YouTube Studio. Once you are inside of there, down in the very bottom left-hand side of the screen, and I can't do this without, there we are. Down on the very bottom left-hand side of the screen, right down here, right by where my finger is, you're going to see a little settings icon. If you click that, then it's going to have like a dialog box that pops up. It's going to look something like this. And then when that dialog box pops up, you are going to go to community. And then inside of community, you can scroll down. And then when you scroll down, you are going to get to your blocked words list. So you can see here, once you get to your blocked words list down here at the bottom, you probably can't even see it. But once you get to your blocked words list down there at the bottom, then you can even scroll within that box. So just as a heads up for anybody that's going to be joining the course, as a heads up, I have an entire, I've got the pre-sign up thing for that down in the description, by the way, but the, just so you can be notified when it goes live. But the, with that, I have like a whole humongous, blocked words list that I have, you know, for you to put in there to cut down on comments and spam, or not comments, but just spam and, you know, all that stuff, as well. Okay, so that's how you get to that. So next question that we have here, let me answer this here. Let's see here, Ray and Tasha McIntosh. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Very, very kind of you. Glad that you are enjoying the live stream. And the next question that we have here is from Richard Walls. Oh no, we got that one already, I believe. Yep. Okay, so we've got Richard all taken care of, all squared away. Okay. Oh, we've got another one here too. The Helicopter. So Helicopter says,
Super chat.
Probably thought I missed it, didn't you, Helicopter? I did, but I refreshed the page. I got it right here. Helicopter says that, I love your channel name, by the way. It says, I've been watching your videos for a year, but I finally started 3 weeks ago after I lost my job because of Miss Rona. Tell you what, Miss Rona is wreaking havoc right now. Loving it so far. Thank you. Yeah, so welcome to the creator life. You know, welcome to the fun part of being a YouTuber. So just a heads up, since you're just starting your channel, she said you've been watching for a year, so you probably have a lot of insight into this already. And everybody that's hanging out in the chat right now can vouch for this as well. But since you're just starting, just as a heads up, like it can take some time to like really start picking up momentum. You might nail it right out of the gate. Some people do. But in most cases, it can take a little bit of time to get momentum. So because of that, just embrace the learning process and don't just watch videos on how to grow your channel, because if you've been watching for a year, you like a lot of the information, you're probably going to be like, okay, yeah, I get it. But start also watching videos about like camera presence and being charismatic on camera, and videos on like copywriting and reading blog articles on copywriting and things like that. Because another part of being a content creator is that you have to be able to get people to click on what it is that you're doing. And because of that, like being able to write good titles and that sort of thing is also really important. And just, you know, getting a little bit of the psychology that goes into like copywriting and that sort of thing, you know, is really important as well. But welcome to YouTube. Glad that you took the leap and that you started your YouTube channel. It's a courageous thing to do. A lot of people want to start channels, but they just don't have the courage to do it. So high five and fist bump to you for taking that leap. And welcome to YouTube. It's an awesome experience. If this is something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, and it is because you've watched the content for a while, I just want to tell you that one, it's awesome that you decided to like pursue something that you're after. But two, this is just being a content creator on YouTube and other platforms as well. It's just an awesome experience. There's parts of it that's a little bit weird at times, but outside of that, it's just an awesome experience. And the amount of value that you can add to other people just through, videos or audio or for, blogs or photos or whatever it happens to be, like the amount of value that you can add to other people is just staggering. And the opportunity that's here also, as a content creator is also staggering. So, because of that, I encourage you to where, even if it gets difficult, that you just embrace the journey and that you're like, hey, you know what, I'm going to figure this out, even if it gets difficult. And even if things don't go your way right out of the gate, they might. But if they don't, just say, you know what, I'm going to embrace this and I'm going to go through that learning curve and I'm going to figure this out if this is something that you've been wanting to do. And I'm going to figure this out so that I can, actually turn this into something. Because, I've seen YouTube change the lives of lots of people. So, YouTube and just content creation in general. So, this is something that can have a massive impact on you and on the other people that are involved with what it is that you do. So, hang in there and embrace the, embrace what's in front of you and what it is that you're getting ready to go through. Okay, next up on our list, we have, let's see here. Next up, we've got Skythe 10th Hokage, I think is how you say that, maybe. I'm not sure. My apologies if I'm saying that incorrectly. The channel is a gaming channel. The goal of the channel is to become famous. And the question is, how can I know if my thumbnails are good if I'm not getting that many views on my channel? And I don't know if people are not clicking on it because I don't even know if people are finding my videos in the first place. Okay, so YouTube gives us something called the analytics, YouTube analytics. You can access this on your phone through the desktop mode that I just showed. You can also access it on a computer, of course. And YouTube also has something called the Creator Studio app, or the YouTube Studio app, I think is what it's called now. The icon looks like this. Yeah, it's called YT Studio. The icon looks like this right here. This one right here. Everybody that's watching this chat right now, if you're a YouTuber, you should have that, right? Because you should have that because that is something that's going to give you back-end access to your YouTube channel. So basically, like as an example, like if I go in here, let me go into like a video, here, I'll just go into like a live stream. So like, for example, if I go into this live stream, I can see like the stats, I can see the comments in here. I can change the thumbnail if I want. I can even go into, and you guys, all of you, like as a content creator, like you guys all have this thing, but you can even go in, you can see like the audience retention. You can see the likes versus dislikes, the revenue. You can see how people are actually finding the stream. Like you can see the thumbnail here for this, like on the replay, is like a 2.1% out of like 223,000 impressions, which is horrible. But like you can see, all that. You can see, specifically where the, like where the traffic's coming from. All that stuff. It's really insightful. And it's really important for you as a content creator to know, all of this stuff that's happening on your YouTube channel. So, so in order to know if people are clicking, then you can do that. So a couple pieces of language that you need to know. And again, this is for Scythe 10 Hokage, is you need to know CTR, which stands for click-through rate. And that's basically means for every time YouTube shows your videos to somebody on the platform, this is how much they're actually clicking. And then you need to know impressions. Impressions are how much they're actually showing it to people on the platform. So your click-through rate is made up of the amount of impressions that YouTube gives compared against the amount of clicks that you're actually getting from those impressions. So if you're curious, how are my thumbnails? Well, if YouTube is giving you, let's say, 1,000 impressions, but nobody's clicking, then in that situation, either YouTube hasn't found the right audience for you yet because you're just getting started, or your thumbnails and your titles need work. Okay. So if they need work, don't stress out about it. Don't be like, oh man, YouTube isn't giving me that many impressions. Instead of looking at it that way, look at it like, okay, I need to figure out how to get people to click, because as soon as I can figure out how to get people to click, I'm going to start getting more impressions. Okay. And then you got to start worrying about keeping people watching for longer and that sort of thing. All right. Had a super chat come in here, a couple of them. So I'm going to go ahead and answer those here really quick for you. Okay. So the first one here that came in is super from Rayantasha McIntosh. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Next one is from Chris.
Super chat.
Chris says, Nick, thank you for all your helpful videos and lives. My channel is finally starting to gain traction. 157,000 impressions, 13,000 views in 28 days, 47,000 channel views. Thank you. High five and fist bump to you, Chris, for making those gains. Absolutely love it. One thing that I love, just because of the type of content that I make and the efforts that I put into like trying to help people understand how to do this, like one of the things that I absolutely love is like that sort of thing, right? Like Roger comes in here and he's like, yeah, got, this happened, thanks for the tips. Chris is in here like, hey, got this. We've got the helicopter, like, hey, I just getting started, been watching your content for a long time. But like all the feedback that comes in and they're like, hey, I'm applying this stuff. It's working. Awesome. High five, fist bump. Absolutely love that feedback. But high five and fist bump to you, Chris, for actually applying the stuff to your channel. It gets better, right? So just keep applying the stuff that you've learned over time, the stuff that you're learning now. Just keep applying it and keep applying it, and try to think like as the information, as you're hearing all the information, and everybody should do this, right? Like if you're a YouTuber, everybody should do this. If you're making videos for YouTube. So in addition to this content that I make and the content that all the other people who make content like mine make, in addition to all of that, go through the YouTube Creator Academy. It's free. Put out by YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything. All it costs you is time, because there's a wealth of information there. But it's all the best practice stuff on like setting up your channel, writing titles, that kind of stuff. Go through there and go through it again. Right? Like I've got 600 and now 66,000 subscribers on my channel. I still go through the YouTube Creator Academy from time to time. And the reason for that is because every single time without fail, even from growing my YouTube channel, from helping other people grow their YouTube channels, and, having friends that grow YouTube channels and having friends that help other people grow their YouTube channel, and all the information that we share, like even though there's all of that going through the YouTube Creator Studio or the YouTube Creator Academy, I'll still pick up things to where I'm like, huh, yeah, that makes a little bit more sense now that I see things, a little bit differently now. So even if you've been through it, go through it again. And then once you go through it again, wait, a couple months, 2-3 months, go through it again. And the reason for that is just going to keep giving you deeper and deeper insights as you go through it. But yeah, well done, Chris. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent about that, but well done, Chris. High five, man. Taylor's Mood says, dude,
Super chat.
I don't do any of those spammy things you mentioned, and my comments disappear from different channels. And does this affect my channel? No, it's not going to affect your channel unless they are marking you as spam in some way. So if people are not liking your comments for some reason and they're just deleting them for the sake of deleting them, not a big deal. If they're reporting them, then that can actually, that can end you up in the spam boxes, or that can have negative impacts on your channel. But if they're just not showing up to your view or to other people's views when they're in there, that's not something that's going to negatively affect your channel. Only if you're on there doing bad things is it going to negatively affect your channel. The Weekly Geek Out says, hey, Nick. Hey, Weekly Geek Out says, love the channel and congrats on everything. Thank you. I started my channel a couple of months ago and I gained quite a few of subscribers. Question is, how long should the intro be and what is too long? So glad you asked that question, the Weekly Geek Out. So when it comes to your intro, the first thing that I want you to think about is it really necessary? I know, right? Yeah, just think about, like, is my intro really necessary? Like, when people are coming in and they're watching my videos, does my intro add like any value whatsoever to the people that are coming in and watching my videos? If the answer is no, then you might want to consider not even using your intro. But when it comes to length, if you're like, yeah, I'm using it, it creates a great segue between, whatever it is that I say in the beginning to, the starting of my content. So because of that, yeah, I'm using it regardless of what you say. I just need some tips, Nick, on like how long it needs to be. Then in that case, try to make it as short as possible, like 3 to 5 seconds maximum. 3 is even better. And the reason for that is, again, because of the viewer experience. You don't want to waste people's time 10 seconds at a time for all of the videos that you have. And you'll notice if you go and you look in your stats, you're going to notice that you're going to see, depending on how long your intro is, you're going to notice that you're going to see, like a drop in viewership during that intro. So you just have to do the math and think, okay, on one video, I'm losing ballpark about this many viewers based on them leaving during my intro. And I've seen humongous drops during like 5-second intros, for example, just because like music would come in and the music would be like just crazy music or whatever, and people would leave. But the idea is you just want to use your stats for this. And you want to say, okay, if I'm losing a bunch of people during this like 10-second intro, then that's costing me performance on this video, because those people, a percentage of those people would have watched this video for a longer period of time. So because of that, I'm going to make it even shorter now. And I'm going to see if I can hold people for that long. And then if people are still leaving, you still have that percentage that's going down. Then in that case, I recommend that you still, either decide to just get rid of it or you make it even shorter if possible. So for example, if you look for comments over coffee, you can't see it because the video is not public. So I have a podcast, and on my podcast, I'm starting to do a video version. So anytime I record the podcast now, it's part of why I got this. That's why I changed this setup here for the live stuff, so I can do the podcast here too. But with the podcast, the channel that I'm launching for that, so that we can have a video version, is the intro for that. All it is it's literally a build up while I'm talking, and then it's just like this flip logo thing comes in, and then it just goes right to the thing. So the logo is literally like a second long, and the whole thing is it's just a transition where I say, grab your cup, tumbler, or mug, because we're starting right now. And then it goes, and then it does the little flippy thing, and then it goes right into it. And since it's a video instead of the normal audio podcast, I've even taken out a bunch of the additional stuff that I have in the beginning as well, typically. So some of it's in there in terms of letting people know that, they can get their questions answered by filling out the form and all that stuff. But, some of the additional things, like I've even shortened it down just for the sake of, it being video content. So I recommend that you do the same, and just always use your stats for information like that. And what I mean by use your stats, Chris, just in case you don't know, if you're doing it on a phone, you can access it through using Chrome in desktop mode on your phone. Or if you're on a computer, you can go into your YouTube stats, and you can actually click on the videos and the stats for one video, and you can actually watch second by second how people are responding to that intro that you have, so that you can make that database decision on what it is that you should be doing. If any of you have noticed, on my channel, my intro it's not 100% gone, but it's pretty close to gone. Like I hardly ever use it now. So like I've just found, different ways to segue. And one of those ways is, of course, having a sponsor spot. So I'm like, and we're starting right now. And then at the start of the video from that point is a sponsor spot. And because I have that sponsor spot there, I don't want to add my intro and all the other stuff that I normally add at the beginning of the video. But once some of those contracts go away, then in that situation, I'm going to get back to just getting into a quick call to action in the beginning. but it's not, that video intro, I'm still not going to have it in there because I figured out, ways to segue the content without needing it. So the reason I'm doing that is for you, because I don't want to waste your time. Like, you're taking time, like you're trying to learn how to do this stuff. You don't have a 3-second per, and it sounds trivial, but over the course of, 100 videos, it adds up. So like, you don't have 3 seconds of video or 5 seconds of video to sit there and like listen to my theme song and listen to it and just see my name pop up on the screen, right? It's impactful. It's memorable. Sure. Because that theme song, as soon as I stopped using it, people are like, oh my gosh, that felt so weird not having your song start there. But like for me, your experience is more important than you hearing my theme song to me. So because of that, the intro is pretty much gone. Let's see here. So next up,
Super Chat.
we've got Watch and Wayne says, started off with 28 friends. I'm already at 5,000. And here, this is all 2 months. Hold on. I started off with 28 friends. I'm already at 5,000 and all. 2 months. Oh, and all it took, I think, was 2 months. And because of your tips, thank you. Watch with Wayne, high five and fist bump to you, my man, for taking the information that you're hearing and actually putting it into action, because that's where the magic happens. That's where the results come from. Is you as content creators, taking the information that you're hearing and actually putting it into action. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian G. Johnson in the house, in the chat. What's up, Brian G? Hope that you are doing awesome, my man. Hope that you're doing fantastic. Brian G, I've actually got a link to his book down in the description below. It's called Tube Ritual Volume 1, and it takes you through the process of growing your YouTube channel from 0 to 5,000 subscribers and more, because he teaches you all the important stuff that you got to know to keep the ball rolling, so to speak. But you can get that down in the description below. But in addition to that, Brian also makes YouTube help content like I do. So like, he's also on a mission to help content creators navigate all this stuff. So if you're not subscribed to Brian G. Johnson, look for his channel name. And I can actually just pop him right up on the screen so you can see. This is his channel name. Look for him and subscribe to his YouTube channel, because he's also sharing this type of information. And like, I know some people will watch my videos and, maybe I won't communicate something in a right way or, whatever. But, a good thing about being, hey, Eric, wait, what's up, man? A good thing about being subscribed to, at least a few channels that do the YouTube help stuff is because, we all communicate things in a different way. We share the same information, but we just communicate it in different ways. And sometimes people will resonate differently with other people, or an idea will get expressed differently. And it'll be like, oh, that's what all these people mean by being compelling. Right. So, because of that, I recommend that you subscribe over to Brian G. Johnson as well. Tom here putting the arm flex. That's what I'm talking about, Tom. All right. So next up on our list here, we have Andy Marshall. Andy Marshall says they upload 1 time per week or more. They have an art channel, and the goal of the channel is to help and inspire artists to document their creative journey while documenting my creative journey. Cool, cool, cool. And the question is, I'm worried my channel has 2 goals. 1 second.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Okay, says that I'm worried that my channel has 2 goals. I'm excited about sharing ways artists can document their creative journeys on social media, and I want to encourage and help others to do the same, as I feel this is a great way to gain an audience and become a thriving artist. The second goal is that I'm also documenting myself illustrating a kid's book on the same channel. They are both related, but potentially different audiences. Do I need a separate channel for each? I would. So you can do what you wish, of course, without, actually digging into the channel. I can't say, yes, you absolutely need to do this, but based on the information that you gave me, if it was me, I would definitely have 2 channels, because without question, it's 2 totally different audiences. The one group is people that's interested in, creating a children's book. The other group is interested in, becoming a thriving artist. So because of that, absolutely, I would separate those 2 channels, or I would just do one. I would just do one so I can put all of my efforts on that. So Brian G. Johnson, who's in this chat right now, I had a period of time where I was working on another channel. I had my design business that I was doing, and I was coming back to this channel as well. And I actually paid Brian G. Johnson for a consult, because it was before we were like, really good friends and stuff. And I paid Brian G. Johnson for a consult because I wanted to get his insight on like all the stuff that I was trying to manage and how I could leverage the situation to, you know, to win, so to speak. And, you know, one of the things that Brian said, and was absolutely true, and I just needed to hear it from somebody, was that, you know, he's like, just focus, just pick one and focus on it. Cause I was battling between two channels, and he's like, you know, just pick one and just focus all of your efforts on that. Because if you can focus your efforts on that, then it has the potential to catch fire, compared to, you know, just kind of putting a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, some over here. If I focus all my attention on one, then that gives me the ability to really go all in on one. And, you know, and that was stellar advice, because, you know, it ended up working out great. But, you know, like, I recommend that you do the same. And I know you might want to do the two, and you can experiment with two. And that's kind of where I was at too. But, you know, when you can really just focus on one and become fully immersed, and because something that content creators really need to consider as part of all of this stuff that they do around their YouTube channel is everybody's wanting views and subscribers. And I get it, right? I mean, it's like, hey, I'm on YouTube, I want views and subscribers. I get it. However, one thing to think about is, instead of thinking like, hey, I just want views and subscribers, you can change the way of thinking to like, hey, I want to be somebody that's like known on the internet for a thing. And then when you do that, that opens you up to a whole new world, because when you start looking at things that way, then that gets you more encouraged to start participating in the right communities online, to start, you know, really getting a deep understanding for the people that you're making content for, because those are the people that you're going to be interacting with, you know, 24/7. Like, anytime you're on the internet, not 24/7 because you got to sleep, but anytime you're on the internet, you're going to be interacting with those people, and you're going to get tons of insights around the type of things that you make. And that's also going to get you known in the entire community around what it is that you're doing, instead of just on YouTube, right? So because of that, you know, I just recommend that, you know, depending on the type of content that you make, that, you know, that you look at it from the perspective, like in your case specifically, of like, hey, I'm going to become somebody that's going to help thriving artists, right? I'm going to help them document their journey, but I'm just going to help not just document their journey. Heck, it is documenting your journey. That's going to be my thing. So I'm going to systemize the process of documenting a journey, and I'm going to do it myself. And I'm going to teach other people how to do it. And I'm going to be on Reddit talking about it and interacting with people there that are trying to document their journey. Every time I notice somebody talking about something, about writing a book about their story, or making videos about their story or their vlog or their life, then in that situation, I'm going to hop in on that conversation. And I'm going to try to help those people out in any way that I can. And I'm going to become somebody that is known for helping people document their journey. I'm not just going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to be somebody that's known on the internet as somebody that people can go to that will help them, you know, learn how to document their journey, right? But for whatever type of content you make, you know, I recommend that you also take that approach, because then that allows you so much more opportunity, and that also allows you to be able to have so much more impact. Now, I do understand the importance of focus, right? Because that same exact thing applies in terms of like, okay, well, now you just said, instead of having two channels, to have one and just focus on that one. But now I have that one that I'm focusing on, plus all this other, you know, influence I'm trying to build, you know, elsewhere on the internet. Well, what I'm saying in that situation is interact. You don't have to be posting everywhere all the time, but just interact in those communities and have conversations with other human beings. That doesn't mean you have to put content there, but I just mean to interact, you know, as somebody in that community, and be focused on that thing that you're making content about, so that you can become prominent there instead of diluting what it is that you're doing. That's what I would do. So of course, you know, you could take the stemmed approach if you wanted, or the forked approach. But I would, if it was me, just like I did, I would focus on one thing.
Super
Savvy
chat.
Turtle, thanks for the super chat. Says fist bump, coffee music. We need it today. We're still tired. Thank you. Coffee music. Wake up.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Next up, we've got Rubber Duck Live. We got a turtle and a duck in the house. That's what I'm talking about.
Super chat.
Rubber Duck Live says, streamed my first coding video yesterday, made a lot of mistakes. I'm planning to stream twice a week. Any tips on the number of times I should be streaming? First off, high five and fist bump to you for taking the streaming lunge. It's addicting, right? Whew. Now you probably understand why I start these things, and I'll stay live for like hours on end, right? It's awesome. Just like, right? But so when it comes to your streaming, if you're streaming twice a week, I think streaming twice a week is fine. But what you want to do is you just want to start noticing what's happening with your audience. And I also don't know if you're mixing videos as well, because like, for example, if you're doing coding, then if you're wanting to really get momentum on YouTube, sure, you can do live coding, and depending on, the connections that you have, or depending on the communities that you're involved with, you can share your content there, let people know. You can advertise it, hey, I'm going to be going live, every Monday and Wednesday. So make sure that you're joining if you want to learn about coding every Monday and Wednesday. And then you start trying to turn your stream into something that way. You can definitely take that approach. But if you want YouTube to help you, then in that situation, then you have to start thinking, okay, when I do these live streams, how can I do them in a way to where when people come in that are not a part of the live stream, when people come in that haven't been exposed to my content or me before, to where it's going to be an awesome experience for them as soon as the video starts, then in that situation, what you want to do is you want to start adjusting what it is that you're doing in your live stream for the sake of making a really good replay. Because then if you can make a really good replay that people respond to, and you package it up in terms of the thumbnail and title, like it's a video instead of it being a live stream, then in that particular situation, what you're doing is you're giving yourself the opportunity to not only market it elsewhere and bring people in from your live streams, but also to have people respond to it positively on YouTube. And if that happens, then YouTube will start showing your content to more people as well that are interested in your topic. So because of that, just think that, you can go live. I mean, technically you could go live daily if you wanted to, but, scaling it back so that you can make sure that you're putting together a better stream is what I would recommend. So I would do like 2 to 3 times a week max. And the reason for that, again, is because like if you're doing coding and you're teaching people stuff, then those extra days that you would be doing a live stream, you can spend that live stream time to work on your system of how you're actually training people, of how you're taking complex ideas and you're breaking them down into simple ideas, working on that sort of thing, instead of just putting out live streams for the sake of putting out live streams to try to grow the channel. Quirkify says, does Google ads ruin your ability to grow after you stop paying? I started a new channel because I had 10,000 subs, but no one was clicking. They are dead subs. Great question. And Savvy Turtle, thank you for the super chat as well. Okay, so when it comes to running Google ads and it stopping your ability to grow your channel, no. So when it comes to using Google ads in your channel, here's the problem that happens is if you run ads to try to get people to come to your content, but you can't get them to respond to your content before you do that, then you're working against yourself because you're spending all this money to get in front of people. Those people are active on your channel, but then when YouTube recommends your latest video to them, since you haven't developed the skill or the process yet of getting people to click on what it is that you're doing, then what happens is you spend all this money growing your channel to 10,000 subscribers, but you tried to bypass the learning curve of how do I get people to actually respond to what it is that I'm doing organically. And because of that, when you put out videos, people just aren't clicking on them. Because YouTube, if people are clicking on your content and they're watching your content and they're staying engaged in what it is that you're doing, YouTube's going to continue to show it to people. But if you can't get them to click, no amount of money that you throw at your YouTube channel is going to fix that. So because of that, you have to think, okay, I have 10,000 people that subscribe to the channel. Now, I have to really roll up my sleeves and get to work on how do I get these people to respond to what it is that I'm doing so that when YouTube does show my videos to them on the platform, that they actually click and they come in and watch. So when it comes to you running ads on your channel, another thing to think about with them being dead subscribers, so to speak, using the language that you used, when it comes to them being dead subscribers, you also need to think, who were you actually targeting when you were running those ads? So, sometimes people will target like lower tier in terms of just cheaper ad rate places or countries or demographics in order to inflate the numbers. But then the same exact thing applies is, when you publish your videos, those people really don't care about what it is that you're doing. So they're not going to click and come in and watch your videos. So because of that, like you're kind of still at ground one or ground zero of like, I still got to go through this process that I was hoping to get around of learning how to get people to click on my videos and watch them for a competitive amount of time. Because if you don't do that, but you do put in the money for Google ads to grow your channel, then you can ultimately end up working against yourself because you do create a dead audience of sorts of people that don't respond to what it is that you're doing. So in your case specifically, just roll up your sleeves, start thinking about your audience, and start thinking about the things that that they will care about and the way that you can add the most possible value to them through the outside with your thumbnail and your title, and how you can entice them to click on what it is that you're doing, so that you can try to develop that muscle, so to speak, or that skill of getting people to click.
Super chat.
Apps that roll. Thanks for the super chat, man. Says just wanted to send some Niminati love. Throw this towards some M&Ms. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Tom here. What's up? Tana
Super
So Lit,
chat.
thank you for the super chat as well. And I think there was one more. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions here. And then I'm going to hop back into the forum here really quick. So we got a lot of questions in here I want to get to still. So if you're waiting for your question to be answered, just hang tight. I'm trying to get to them. Let's see here. CMJFTW, thank you for the super chat there. And the Reaper 777, thank you for the super chat there as well. And okay. And we've also got Rand Tasha McIntosh says, I'm new to streaming, and your channel was the first one I saw that catered to my needs. What's your recommendations? So when it comes to live streaming, my recommendations for live streaming are, if you're doing talking head stuff like I am, to where, you know, you're not actually like gaming, for example, then in that case, I recommend StreamYard just because it's easy. Like it's so easy. Like literally, like, you know, the chat's on the screen. I can like pin, like, for example, I'm just going to grab, let's see here. I'll grab that. Right. And I can just throw that up on the screen. Right. And they didn't even have to, like, you know, there was nothing technical. All I had to do is just click a button and it pops up on the screen. Right. Like here, like we'll do actually Rogers has already passed. So I'll take that one. I was going to do Rogers here, but that one's like way back there. I wonder if I can pin it from here. You know, I'm going to submit that as as an option for something to add to this. But anyway, but, you know, it's just really easy to use. And even if your computer is a potato, it still runs great because it's web-based. So all you have to do is connect your webcam to it, or a camera through an interface of some kind to actually get it up to their system. And then their system does all the heavy lifting. And you can even send links around to invite guests in. So all the way around, it's just super easy. Now, if you're a gamer, then in that particular case, if you're like, hey, I'm gaming and I want some like really, you know, like high-end software that I can do like all kinds of graphics and scenes and transitions and all that stuff, then in that case, Streamlabs is going to be what it is you're going to want to go with. If you're on a Mac, Ecamm Live is another one, but they have Streamlabs for Mac as well. But like in the gaming world, Streamlabs is pretty much like your option. Streamlabs or OBS, Streamlabs OBS or OBS. But with Streamlabs, you also have an option where they have like remote, like instead of having a switcher like I have here where I can go between cameras, they actually have that built into a phone. So so you can access that same exact technology through a phone or a tablet. And that's going to give you the option to be able to switch the scenes around and all of that good stuff. All right. So next up on the list here, we've got we've got Salty Fish. It's an interesting channel name. Let's get a oh yeah on the Salty Fish there. Hashtag oh yeah, actually, on the Salty Fish. Salty Fish says they have a gaming channel. The goal is to get monetized. Question is, hey Nick, I've been uploading on YouTube for over 2 years now, and I get around 40 to 100 views on my videos, but I used to get around 100 to 200, even more views on my videos. I have 247 subscribers, but I haven't gained any in a while. Now you're probably thinking, did I change the game I upload? And the answer is no. I wasn't thinking that. I was still reading the question, but close. It was going to be coming though. But when I ask my audience if I'm making the content they want to watch, they don't answer. If I am or if I'm not, they're not. If you're putting out content and they're not clicking on it and coming in and watching, you're not making the content they care about. Is there any way I fix this? Do I keep uploading the channel I have now? Should I make a new channel altogether, or should I just stop uploading on YouTube? Okay, so this comes down to what it is that you're willing to do. And this is going to sound like a challenge of sorts, but it really comes down to what it is that you are like, how committed you are to achieving any type of success on YouTube in terms of just viewership or in terms of growth or in terms of income or in terms of prominence or anything like that. It really comes down to what it is that you're willing to do. So if you have been on YouTube for 2 years and you're getting 40 to 100 views per video, that means that you've probably spent a lot of your time, most of your time, a majority of it, making the videos, which is fine. But what I recommend that you do is that you start basically splitting up some of that time to where you have some of the time that you're making videos and then some of the time that you're actually digging into your stats so that you can figure out what's going on. Because as content creators, and a lot of you in the chat, you might be doing the same thing because it's common. Like, like when I was doing a lot of consulting, one of the first things that I would, have people, or that I would ask people is like, what kind of retention are you getting on your videos, while I was waiting for them to give me access to their stats. And people would be like, yeah, I don't know. I'd be like, what do you mean you don't know? And they're like, yeah, I don't know. I just upload videos. And I'm like, Okay, let's start there. So we got to train you on how to even use your stats in the first place, right? So like when it comes to being a content creator, there's the awesome side of it, which is like, hey, I'm uploading videos and I'm making something and then I'm putting it on the internet, and some people are coming in and they're enjoying what it is I'm putting out on the internet. There's that, but then there's the other side to where some people love this as well, but other people not so much, to where there's the work side of YouTube, which is, okay, in addition to uploading videos on my channel, I need to go in and I need to, oh, okay, yeah, I will, I see your message there, Doug, and I will, okay, yep, got it. Okay, I will answer that here in just a second. But what you need to do as a content creator is you need to go into your stats and you need to say, okay, I don't know how to interpret any of this stuff right now because I've never looked at anything that looks like this before. So gamers, you guys have an edge because you look at stuff like this, but for other people, they don't necessarily look at, they don't look at like stats all the time. So because of that, you have to get familiar with, one, what is everything? Two, what does all this stuff actually mean? How do I interpret the things that I'm seeing? And that's the work side of YouTube. So YouTube is consistently working on, and they've gotten much better at it recently, but they're consistently working on trying to make things better and easier for content creators to understand what's happening on their channel, why videos do better than other videos, what causes some videos to take off. They show you the most recent videos that are performing well on your channel and things like that. And the reason for that is because it's important information. Like if you want to learn, or if you want to get in front of more people, you have to learn how to see that information and interpret it. So if you've been uploading videos to YouTube for 2 years and you're getting 40 to 100 views per video and people aren't responding to anything as you're doing anymore, it's because you're not paying attention to the work side of YouTube. You're not paying attention to your stats. You're not paying attention to that side of things. Asking people to tell you in your comment section, like, hey, what do you think I should do? Or what kind of games do you want? Like, that's not enough, because you're only getting in that situation. And this is important for everybody to know when you're interpreting your data that's in your, or not when you're interpreting your data, but when you're asking your community for things. I can tell you right now. Okay, let's do a test right here. And you guys are going to help me test something. So I want you to reply. I'm going to ask you something here and I want you to reply. So on my channel, do you want to see more YouTube help content, more live streaming content, or more mobile focused content for mobile content creators? Just let me know. Out of those three, which one do you want me to make more of? And I'm curious. I know what it's going to be, but the reason that I am doing this is because I want you guys to see something. Okay, so we've got a live coming in here. We've got YouTube help. We've got some mobile focused. We've got help, streaming, YouTube live. Okay, so all of these that are coming in, right? Every single one of these that are coming in right now, all of you, thank you for responding to that, by the way. But all of you that are coming in here and you're leaving, the type of content that I'm going to put out. So out of all of these comments that are here right now, we have 311 people watching this live stream, and I'm going to imagine I'm not going to waste everybody's time by counting these, but I guarantee you there wasn't 300 answers that just came through. And the reason that I wanted to illustrate that is because you can't make decisions on your YouTube channel based on the people that are most vocal in your comments. And that's great. Always take their feedback, look at it objectively, and think to yourself like, okay, is this something I need to, be mindful of? Should I make that video because that might be a really good idea? Should I just take that and be like, hey, thanks for the idea, and then move on? Like the reason for that, or the thing that I'm getting at is, you can't make your decisions based on what people say in your comment section, because those people, even though they're the most engaged because they're leaving you the comment, those aren't always the people that are actually watching your videos for the longest period of time, or they don't speak for the entire viewership of your YouTube channel or for those videos. That's why it's important to use the data. So for example, if you go and you look at any of your videos right now, there's a really good chance, like right now, right? I've got 315 people watching right now. If this was a video out of 315 views, if that's what it was, then, well, on my channel, then I would have more comments than that. But okay, let's say I have a video with 10,000 views. Out of those 10,000 views, I might have like 900 or 1,000 comments, sometimes more, but like 900 or 1,000 comments on a video, right? So that's a lot. However, there's still 9,000 people that were unaccounted for in terms of the comment. So what I'm trying to express here to you, salty fish, is that instead of asking your community, you need to do this work side so that you can use the data that's given to you that samples your entire audience, that samples all the people, your viewers, not Johnson, but it samples all the people that are actually viewing your content or those specific videos. Because if you look at the data, that gives you information on everybody that's interacting with your content and not just the people that are being vocal or not in your comment section. So, as all of us, everybody watching the stream right now, there's the awesome side, which is the, the creating side. And then there's the, depending on your mind state, there's the analytics side and the additional work that goes along with it too. But there's the analytics side, which depending on, the type of personality you have, that might be something that's awesome or not. But that's something that is really important to make sure that you get familiar with so that you can make the right decisions on the type of content that you're making on your YouTube channel. So that was a really long explanation to your answer or to your question, but it's something that's really important to make sure that everybody, makes sure that you tap into, because I know for a fact there's tons of people in this chat right now that are not looking in their stats on a regular basis. If I were to ask you what your general retention is, you probably, a lot of people here wouldn't know. So because of that, I can't stress enough the importance of getting to know what your analytics looks like and being able to interpret that data, at least at the basic level. Because what YouTube's trying to do right now is they're trying to take like complicated stuff and they're trying to make it as simple as humanly possible. They're trying to give you recommendations. Your channel is doing better right now because of this. This video did better because of this. It's doing worse because of this. And they're giving us all that information. So what you want to do is you want to learn how to use that information to make better decisions instead of just using like your comment section, for example. Luxury Card Store says, super chat here, says, I love your new setup. What brand is your microphone? The sound is awesome. Luxury Card Store, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. So as you can see here, I got a bunch of different mics and stuff that are part of this, but this is like a multi-function spot right here. So basically I have my sit down videos that I make here. I make them over there too. I make my stand-up videos over here. But with this particular thing, I've got this camera here and I have it set up with my monitor here. And I've got this audio interface for this mic, but right now this mic isn't what's on. So this is a Rode NTG3. It's what I use this is what I use when I'm doing the videos where I have the same exact scene. And the mic that I'm using right here is a pod mic. This mic's $100. Crazy, right? But it's $100. So the magic with this mic though, is that it's connected to this. This is here, I'll actually move over to that scene so you can, actually you won't be able to see it. Here you go, you can see it here. This is the Rode Procaster. So with the Rode Procaster, this thing is running processing in real time. So what's happening is I'm basically routing this microphone and this microphone that's over here. I'm routing both of these mics into this. And it's putting like compression on it. It's putting dynamics on it. It's adding like a little bit of like high end, a little bit of a low end. It's adding a noise gate to it, that kind of stuff. And it really like makes something sound awesome. So that's this mic, right? Now, if we take this mic and then we change it over to here, then this one's a Shure SM7B. I have a bigger mic or a bigger filter on this one. So it muffles it just a tad. But, this one also sounds, it also sounds really, really good. And of course, based on how much I turn it up or turn it down, but it also sounds really good. And it's because it's running through, it's running through that same, it's running through that same machine. Can I show you the machine? Nah, that's okay. Yeah. So back. Yeah. So when it comes to the mic, this mic's $100 mic, but this was made to work with that. So when they put this thing together, they made it to sell as part of the package with this thing. So, I think that's why this one ends up sounding like really good through here. But I personally think that this is, a little bit more of has like a little bit more of like a tinny type of sound to it, but it sounds good. Like it's like in your face type of good. Yeah, absolutely. So with the windscreen here, because I heard some people, or I saw some people talk about the windscreen for it. So I have a smaller one too. But when I record my podcast or I do tutorials or anything like that, it picks up more plosives. So because of that, I just put the bigger one on there because it's fine for that particular setup. But for this one, D actually sent me a link today. My brother D, he sent me a link today to a windscreen for this one that kind of wraps around here and then it kind of sits about this far off of it. So I'm going to get that for this, and I'll probably get one for that as well, just to be on the safe side. All right. So next, So let's see here. Okay, so I didn't forget Tana. I'm on it, my man. On it. Just working through these, my man. Working through them. Okay, so next up here we've got Tana So Lit. Tana So Lit says, I released a great Pixel 4 review, but the views are coming slowly. Any suggestions? So it's probably coming down to your packaging. So in terms of your title and your thumbnail, so what I recommend that you do is you go and you look at your retention. YouTube will shortly tell you why it's underperforming. So for example, I've been sharing out in my last video. Did I do it in my last video? Yeah, I think in my last video, I've been sharing out some things like this. Here, I'll show you. And you guys see these too, but this is part of what I'm talking about in terms of, getting familiar with YouTube and the information and what it means. And also for them breaking things down for you in a way to where you can kind of understand why videos are over or underperforming. Like here, for example, this is one that I showed last week. It's saying that, your video's performing 53% lower than usual as people just aren't watching as long. So, you could be in a similar situation where people are clicking on it and they're just not watching for as long as a period of time, or just the total watch time that you're generating per impression isn't there. Or it could also be that the competition is just kind of stealing the thunder for that right now because they're getting a higher response. So then if the YouTube system thinks that they're likely to watch one of your competitors' videos over yours based on how people are responding to yours, then they end up showing them that video in the place of where your video is. So in order to, I would give it some time, but you might want to consider just looking at it from the outside and being like, okay, when YouTube gives me that report and they let me know, how my video is actually performing, and if they give me a why, then in that situation, if I know it's because people are watching for not as long of a period of time, then in that situation, like, the video is done. Not really much I can do there, with the exception of thinking of my title and my thumbnail and thinking if I'm creating a different expectation than what's actually happening in my video. Joshua Crawford, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here. Saying, hope all is well, Nick. Can't stay. Just saying, hey, thanks for swinging by, man. I hope that you are doing fantastic. Thank you for stopping by. Hope that you're doing awesome. So next up on our list here, we have Nusoa. Nusoa says that they've been on YouTube for a year or more. They've got a Samsung S8 is what they make content with. They do tech and gaming gold channels to get views and subscribers. It's a really long, never mind. This was broken down into 6 questions, but I'm only going to answer 1. So it says, I need to be ready to respond to my questions. I need you to be ready to respond to my questions. Yes, these questions are not, is not only one, so be prepared. All right. Let me get ready for these. Let me get ready for these questions. Another sip of coffee. Let me move this into view so I can put the TubeBuddy logo kind of front and center up here while I'm answering this question. Just in case you don't know, by the way, this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. Helps you tag your videos, optimize your videos for search and just discovery in general. Helps you come up with awesome video ideas. Helps you test your thumbnails to make sure that you're making effective thumbnails for your audience. All types of amazing stuff. But if you're a content creator, you should be using it. You can try it out for free down in the description below through the link there, or you can go to tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. If you have under 1,000 subscribers, they even give you a discount if you decide to upgrade. So keep that in mind as well. They're trying to help out, content creators, because they understand that, content creators, especially if you're just getting started, you don't have a lot to invest into this stuff. So they are, trying to hook you up in that situation as well. And it's co-sponsored by StreamYard as well, who's the streaming app that I'm using for this right now. Also, it's the easiest live streaming platform on the planet Earth. So if you're not a gamer and you're looking for just an easy way to live stream, definitely check out StreamYard. I've got a link to them down in the description as well. Or you can just go to StreamYard.com. Same with TubeBuddy. You can just go there. If you don't want to give me if you don't want to help them track where it came from, or you don't want to give me any credit, then you feel free to just go to StreamYard.com or to TubeBuddy.com, because both of them are awesome and you can just use both of them. Okay, so the first question is the one I'm going to answer for you. And it says, I'm making tutorials about gaming and tech, and I don't know which option I need to choose. Continue making tutorials, and when I get a lot of subs, I'll change to making videos about games and tech. Stop making tutorials and start making videos about games and tech. Okay, so here's my answer to your question. And sorry, you put in 6 questions and I can only answer 1, but it's because everybody, they get 1 question. So when it comes to which direction you should go, what you need to think about is what is important to you. What is important to you? What is it that you enjoy doing? What is it that you're going to be able to do for a long period of time? So the wrong approach is to build a tech channel for the sake of switching it to gaming content, because what you're doing is you're going to grow the channel for one audience that expects one thing from you, and then you're going to blindside them with a different type of content, and then your channel is going to suffer because of it. So pick one and then just go for that one, like full bore. Just go for that particular one and do everything you can to get momentum going on that channel. But just think for yourself. What is that I'm into? What is it that I really enjoy? What is it that I like making content about? What is it that I'm always talking about? What is it that I think that I can really make an impact on? Right? Like, do I think that I could really do well in gaming based on how good I am at games or how I talk about games? So I think that would be a really good asset to the tech community, like Tana So Lit. So I think it'd be an awesome asset to the tech community because of my love for tech and how I express my love for tech and the detail that I share when it comes to tech and all the different features that comes with, all the different tech that's out there. So, you really gotta, this is a personal one, man. You got to think of what it is that you really enjoy the most, and then that's the avenue that you want to roll. And the reason for that, YouTube's a long game, which means that some people will start out and within like a year they've got some serious momentum going on their channel. Other people, it takes them some serious time in order for them to really start getting momentum on what it is that they're doing. So if you look at my channel right now, you're like, hey, Nick's got 666,000 subscribers. But what you didn't see is that first like 5 months that it took me to get to 150. You didn't see the break that I took on this channel to go work on another channel and get that one to like 10,000 subscribers and then come back to this channel, right? And then the grind that I had to put in there after that. So for me to start getting real momentum on my channel, I mean, it was always, growing a little bit, but to get like serious momentum on the channel took me like 2 years, right? So because of that, I just want you to consider it can take a while. And since it can take a while, you want to make sure that you're doing something or uploading a type of content that you are just super enthusiastic about, because there's going to be times where you're going to have these thoughts to where it's like, why am I even doing this? Why am I putting my time towards this? Right? And when those times approach you, the default needs to be because I have a goal I'm trying to reach, and or because I really enjoy doing this. That's why. Like, it doesn't matter if my friends are like, oh, I can't believe you have a YouTube channel, you dork, right? Doesn't matter, right? Because this is something that I enjoy. So I'm going to keep uploading because I enjoy it, even though my friends are giving me a hard time and making me second guess myself. Right? So just think of things like that. Mike Phillips in the house. What's up, dude? Says, I'm not Roger Wakefield. You guys are the best. Thanks for that, Mike. I appreciate it, man. As always, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm not Roger Wakefield. It's funny. Fox, the cutest dog in the West, says, my question is in the queue. Okay, Fox in the Quest, do me a favor, drop your question here because you dropped that super chat. If you drop a super chat, your question goes like right to the front of the line because you're putting skin in the game. So because of that, I don't know how where it is in the form, so I'm not sure how I'd be able to track it down without flipping through them all. So just go ahead and put your question here, and once I see it there, then I will I'll go ahead and get an answer for you. Okay, so while that's coming in, Glue Guns and Roses, what's up? Nice to see you in here too. So as that is coming in, let me go to the next question here. Okay, so we've got Major League Unboxing says they've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do unboxing and review. And the goal is to make a full-time salary and give away as many soccer shirts as possible. And the question is, what percentage of viewers could I expect to see using my affiliate links? For example, would 1,000 views equals one purchase on my affiliate link on average, or 10,000 views? It depends on what you're promoting. We're going to unpack a little bit here. So when it comes to getting better conversions or when it comes to getting any conversions on your affiliate links, one of the things that you have to make sure that you're considering is the buyer intent. And what I mean by that is, if you just have affiliate links in your description and you're not, there's a handful of things you got to think about. Okay, one is buyer intent. Two is if you're actively or passively affiliate marketing. So we'll start with buyer intent. So buyer intent means that you are making videos for the sake of hopping in between the purchasing decision. So that would be a review video, so that you have a video up in YouTube search, you're targeting YouTube search with it. So when people are looking for, a review on that specific thing, yours comes up. So in that situation, you're hopping in the middle of them looking for information on that so that they can decide on to make a purchase or not. When you make content like that, your conversion is higher because the people are actually considering buying what it is that you're sharing information about. Now, if you are somebody that just has a bunch of links in your description, but you don't let people know that there's anything down there, the video isn't about the things that you have down there, anything like that, then in that case, then the conversion is going to be lower. And the difference between the two is the one where you're targeting search and you're trying to get in front of the person that has the intent to possibly buy it, then you're actively affiliate marketing in that situation. Whereas if you just have a bunch of links down in your video description, then what you're doing in that situation is you're passively affiliate marketing, where you're not really pushing it. You might not even have anything letting people know that it's down there, right? But you can level that up a little bit to make it a little bit more active by letting people know that, I've got links down in the description to the things that, to the things that'll help you with that. Or, hey, this TubeBuddy coffee cup, there's a link to it down in the there's not really a link to it down in the description, but I'm just saying as an example, we'll do it this way. So I've got this coaster, this Death Valley coaster here. Anybody from Death Valley repping you right now. But anyway, I got this Death Valley, coaster, and it's really great. It's like this sandstone stuff. It's got this, it has this cork board here on the back. It's great. This sandstone, it actually like absorbs. Like if I put something cold here, it absorbs some of the condensation that comes from the drink or the cold liquid that I put on here. But this is awesome. I absolutely love this thing. I'm so glad I picked it up. I've got a link to this actually down in the description below. If you want to, check one out for yourself, you can get it on Amazon. It's just like a couple of bucks. But anyway, when it comes to whatever, but that would be more of like a active way that you'd be affiliate marketing. So the things that you have links to in the description, you're letting people know that they're down in the description. You're taking a moment to highlight whatever it is that you are wanting to bring attention to. But just having, a link to that coaster in the description, but not saying anything about it would be a lot less. That would just be 100% passive in that situation. And then you would only get the people that were down there that were actually looking in the description for it. And as a heads up, just so everybody knows, I have a ton of stuff down in the description of this, like straight up, like seriously, I have a ton of links down in the description, a ton of different resources for you as content creators that you should definitely check out when you get the chance to. If you're on your phone, then you can just, you click the little down arrow next to the title and it'll open up the description and then you can see a bunch of stuff down there. But I've got TubeBuddy links down there. I've got my resource site down there, best creator tools, to where I actually curate a bunch of like awesome tools, free stuff, paid stuff, everything for content creators. That's on bestcreatortools.com. Got links to my podcast down there. I've got a link to other YouTube help channels. I've got links to the YouTube Creator Academy, which is like YouTube's free educational resource that helps you with your helps you understand what it is that they want from you as a YouTuber. Tons of links down there that'll help you with what it is that you're doing on YouTube. You should definitely check it out. Even while you're listening to this, just go down there and look at them, and any of them that are of interest to you, just pop them open and bookmark them for later. So a couple more super chats come in. I'm gonna answer these really quick. First one, Trip on Two Wheels says, I've had a YouTube channel for 18 months and now I have 6,200 subs and 900,000 views. Am I ahead of the curve or behind it? Thanks, Nick. So I actually made a video. I don't have the stats fresh in my brain because it's been a while, but I made an entire video on how many videos it typically takes to get to certain subscriber milestones based on averages across YouTube. So that also takes into account like, big channels who have just published daily content. It also takes into account like smaller channels that have done well because they just came onto the platform putting out great content. So it takes into account all of those things as well. It includes all of those different variables, but I think that you're doing fantastic. I think that you're off to a good start. In terms of, 18 months, 6,200 subscribers. I don't think that I had 1,800 subscribers my first 18 months. It took me 5 just to get to 150. So in that regard, let's see here, and then 9 months on the other channel. So I think I might've had 1,000 by the time I came back. So yeah, you're doing better than I did when I started. So yeah, you're off to a great start. And then I had some others here that I'm going to refresh the page for. Okay, and then we've got, see here, we got Mike, we've got the cutest dog in the world, we've got Joshua Quaffer. Sylvia says, thanks for inspiring. My channel is growing like wildfire and I learn a lot from you. Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad that you are enjoying the content. More importantly, and you'll hear me say this a lot in the live stream for people that are like, yeah, I'm getting the results. More importantly, like it's awesome to get the feedback that you're taking the information, that you're applying it to what it is that you're doing, because that's like that's the big wall that a lot of people don't cross, because, like listening to the information is one thing, but saying, okay, how can I take this and apply it to what it is that I'm doing? That's a whole other game. So the fact that you actually are taking the information and applying it to what it is that you're doing, high five and fist bump to you for taking the action and making that happen.
Super
CMJ
chat.
FTW says, CMJ for the win, I guess that is, says, it took me 2 years to gain 13,000 subscribers. Awesome. Awesome. Looking good at 13,000 subscribers.
Super
Simple
chat.
Physique says, hey, Nick, I used, excuse me, Carmel City to get views at first. Has this messed with my impressions and algorithm? If so, can I dig myself out of it? Thanks. So if you used one of those services to get you views, and you didn't use it to get subscribers, then it's not that big of a deal because those will end up just fading away anyway. Because as YouTube detects all the bots they're using and basically the way that you got those views coming in, then over time those are just going to disappear or evaporate, so to speak, anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. Now, if you did it to buy subscribers, then that's a totally different thing because then in that case, those are people that are accounts, bots, whatever, that are interacting with your content in some way, and they can actually hurt your click-through rate, which can be a problem to dig out of. So because of that, and same thing with the views, sort of, if you got but you'd have to get a lot of views for it to really make a big impact. But just take this approach. Don't use those services again. Just focus on making really good content for a specific audience, and you'll if there's any hole that you're in, you'll be able to come out of it, relatively quickly. All it takes is one video, and then you're off to the races in terms of people responding to that piece of content. And then we got Trip on 2 Wheels. All right. So, we got a channel member as well.
Super chat.
Oop, wrong one. Nope.
Welcome to the Niminati.
Glue Guns and Roses, welcome back to the channel membership. Make sure that next time you're on Facebook, I think you might be in there already, but next time you're on Facebook, make sure that you look for Niminati VIP, just in case you're not there. Make sure you look for Niminati VIP so that you can participate in the conversation over there as well. Welcome back. All right, so next up here on our list, we got Major League Unboxing taken care of. Okay, we got Diesel Power Gaming. Diesel Power Gaming, cool name, by the way, says that they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to bring entertainment to gamers and simulator enthusiasts. So just as a quick side note, so I have this this flight game. It's called Air something, but it's a VR. Holy cow. Like, it's not like a legit simulator, but I mean, holy cow. You're in like a fighter jet in VR, and you're just like flying around. You can go upside down, and man, it feels so real. It's ridiculous. And the graphics are so good. UVR. Oh, I thought you were a member. Oh, okay. I thought you were a member in the past. So welcome to the channel membership. So yeah, next time you're on Facebook, look for Niminati VIP. And then I'll let you in there. Just fill out all the stuff on the way in. And on the channel page, you're going to see some members only videos there. There's also a link in the video description there. If you don't want to look for it on Facebook, that'll just take you right to the page to request the group. So yeah, this VR game though, for all you VR people, if you play VR, just give me a VR just so I can identify you. But this game, it's called Air or something, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But basically, the details are so there, and like you feel like you're in a cockpit by how they position you. And then like the glass that's on top of you in this fighter jet, it's like an F-16 or something. But the glass that's on top of you, even though you can see through it like it's not even there, they put these like little scratches on the glass so that it creates that all of a sudden, because these little scratches are on it, it's like you feel like you're actually sitting inside of this thing. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So we've got Tarantula Collective as well.
Welcome to the Niminati.
Welcome to the Niminati. Welcome to the channel membership. Make sure next time you are on Facebook. I said next time twice. Make sure next time you are on Facebook, you also look for Niminati VIP. Awesome community we got going over there. A lot of really cool information being shared. A lot of feedback when people are asking questions and stuff. Like, it's pretty active. I'm pretty stoked, actually. Pretty excited about how well that is how well that's coming together and how awesome the people are over there so far. I'm talking about you, all you channel members. All right, so let's see here. Next up on our list, we've got, here we got that. Okay, so this one is Diesel Power Gaming. I never even answered the question. Says the goal is to bring to the simulators. That's where I got sidetracked. Okay, says I feel like I'm getting the wrong audience, even with the right settings. 666 views on a channel, barely 22 subs. Keep going. And the reason I say to keep going is because if you are just getting started, you have 22 subscribers, 667 views on the channel. It's not necessarily you're getting the wrong audience. It's probably that you're just not putting your videos and your titles and your thumbnails together in a way yet that people are responding to. So keep learning how to develop those skills more. and you'll be fine. The hardest part of being a content creator for everybody that's new, the hardest part of being a content creator is being a new content creator, especially if you've never done anything like this before, where you've never had to write titles that grab people's attention. You've never had to design a thumbnail or think about how to use imagery to grab somebody's attention. You've never had to put a video together before and take people on a journey through your video. If you've never had to do that before, like there's a lot that you have to learn in that process, and all of those things. Like there's so much that you have to learn that it can be overwhelming at times. But I just want you to know, like in this situation, like if you're just getting started, like don't stress out about the numbers yet. Focus on like learning how to make really good content and learning how to package your content up in terms of your topic, title, and thumbnail, so that you can give yourself the best possible chance. Because a lot of people will come onto YouTube and they will come onto YouTube and they'll expect, I publish a video, I get 10,000 views. If I don't, then it's bad. Or I publish a video, I get 1,000 views. If I don't, it's bad. I publish a video, I get 500 views. If I don't, it's bad. But the thing that they're not thinking about is all of the other channels that they see that are getting all those view counts. Like they've learned how to do things to a certain level to where they can get those types of view counts, be it 500 views a video, 1,000 views a video, 10,000 views, 100,000 views, whatever it is. It's they've picked the topic that they talk about or the thing that they do in their videos. They've learned to package that in a way that the right audience responds to it. And they've also, over time, they've built up a big content library that is constantly bringing people to their YouTube channel, so that when they do publish a new video, that they have people that are going to get shown that video on YouTube because they've recently interacted with the channel, with a similar topic that the new video is about. So because of that, when you're first getting started, that's the disadvantage that we all had, and that you currently have when you're starting on YouTube, is you don't have that back content library yet. You don't have those people that YouTube are just going to show your stuff to, a lot of them, because you just don't have a lot of people that have interacted with your channel recently. Now, keep in mind, YouTube can still show your video to a lot of people if people respond to your content at a high rate when it does show your videos to people. You can still get tons of views. Even if your very first video, if you've never uploaded a video before, you can still have your very first video just do awesome. Like right out of the gate, you can just come in and just go straight to the races. But that's just not what happens to most content creators. Okay. So it's possible. I just want to tell you that it's possible. So don't think like, oh, it's never going to work out. It's possible. Right. So you can have really good videos right out of the beginning to get a high response. But the advantage that established channels have, or people with like a bigger content library, not even established, just people with a bigger content library, is that there's a lot more activity happening on their channel, and YouTube sees that people are interacting with the channel. They're getting a good experience. So then when a new video is published, those are the people that are going to be the first people that are going to be likely to actually see that content. All right. Let's see here. Next up on our list, we have
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Okay, the question is from Studio 14 Sessions. Studio 14 Sessions says, it is a tips and advice for music educators and music students. The goal of the channel is to grow music education by growing the people in it. And the question is, I did the keyword research to identify the best keywords for my videos. Can you please explain how to actually place them in your title? Does it matter where they are? Okay, that's a fantastic question, and I'm glad that you asked. So when it comes to, and really quick before I answer that question,
Welcome to the Niminati.
Jamie Velasquez, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. Welcome to the channel membership. Make sure next time you're on Facebook that you look for Niminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. It's also in the members only, the description of the members only videos that are on the channel page right now as well. You can just click on that and go directly there. But fill out everything on the way in, because when you fill out everything on the way in, then that just helps me confirm that you're actually a channel member before I approve people, because it's like a members only group. So make sure that you fill that out on the way in. Okay, so when it comes to your keywords and where you need to put them in your titles, a few things I want you to think about. So when it comes to ranking videos in search, you have to get people to click on what it is that you're doing. So I'm trying to think of how to explain this out. Okay, so when it comes to getting people or when it comes to maintaining a ranking in search, people have to click on what it is that you're doing and watch it. But the watch part has nothing to do with the actual placement of the keywords, but getting them to click does. So what you want to think about is your keyword is definitely giving YouTube context to what your video is about. Okay, so that is a win to actually have your keyword or your keyword phrase so that their system can have context that is what your video is about. Now, The other part of that equation is, in addition to the system, in addition to YouTube having the idea or an understanding of what your video is about topically, it's more important to have the people that are looking for that identify that the video that you just published or the video that you are trying to rank in search is the right video for them. So because of that, when it comes to your keywords, you want to put them as close to the front of the title as possible if you are targeting an English-speaking audience. And the reason for that is because in English, we read from left to right. So when you are trying to grab somebody's attention, you want the thing that they are searching for to be one of the first things that they see. Now, keep in mind, based on the thumbnail and the title and how they work together and the additional compelling elements that are being added to the thumbnail or that are being added to the title, one of the things that can also happen in that situation is if yours isn't that compelling, but you do have the keywords at the front, well, then people might end up clicking on the other ones that are more compelling, even though you're grabbing their attention to yours. So they might see yours, and they might identify that, hey, this is exactly what I just put into search. This is exactly what it is that I'm looking for. But then there's these other videos, these 5 other videos on the screen, or 10, or if you start scrolling, there's even more. But there's these other videos on the screen that might have the same exact keyword phrase that you have, or be targeting the same exact keyword. So then what you have to think is, okay, now my keyword is easily and quickly identifiable, but now I need to take it a step further and think, okay, how can I put my keyword or keyword phrase in here, but then make my title so compelling that when it shows up next to these other videos here, that it's going to be compelling enough to make people want to click on mine compared to the other ones that are here. And once you crack that nut, then that's when you start getting people to start clicking on your videos way more. And here's the thing, when it comes to search, sometimes you'll nail it. Sometimes you'll outrank everybody. Sometimes you'll outrank everybody with a few different videos. Sometimes you'll just get smoked because other people that are targeting that specific term, they just can wrap their package up a little bit better than you can. And you just don't, no matter how many times you go for that term, you just can't seem to get in there because people just don't respond to yours as well as they respond to others. But that's where targeting search on a regular basis comes in really handy. And also when you're thinking of, and I have a whole section about this in the course that I'm coming out with. And again, a link to sign up to be notified when that goes live is down in the description. It's really soon. And I keep pushing it off a little bit just because I'm adding to it. YouTube just made some changes to like series playlists and things like that, which was a whole section by itself. So I have to redo that section. Little things like that is kind of delaying it a little bit, but I promise it's coming soon. But anyway, like one of the things that I talk about in there also is, you'll hear some people that talk about YouTube. Some people will talk about the importance of targeting search, and it is important. You'll hear other people talk about the importance of targeting recommendations, which recommendation features are also important. What I talk about in the course and what I'm getting ready to share with you here is you want to think of how they work together and how you can do both, right? So if you're targeting search and you include your keyword phrase and all that, so it's clear to YouTube what your video is about, you can get people to respond to it in search. But then, and of course I talk in more detail about this in the course, but when you are putting that package together and you are targeting something for search, if you can wrap that entire package up with your title and thumbnail in a way that's so compelling that not only will people click on it when it's presented to them in search, but you are focused, you've made 10 different thumbnails, you've written 50 different titles, and you figured out like, okay, this is definitely going to stop somebody in their tracks when they're scrolling. This is definitely going to grab attention when it shows up in search. This thumbnail with this specific title, these are going to work together so good to create a contrasting idea or to illustrate an idea super clearly that people are going to have that are interested in this topic are going to have no choice but to click on this. When you do that and you wrap that package up because you include your keyword or keyword phrase, but then you add something that's so compelling to the title and or the thumbnail, then what you do in that situation, you give yourself the opportunity to rank well in search, but then you also give yourself the chance to double or triple dip into browse features and other recommendation features as well, so that anywhere you show up on the platform, you end up winning the click. Maybe not every time, but you end up winning the click at a high rate because the way that you're packaging up your content is very well targeted and it's also very compelling, which then causes you to be effective everywhere your content shows up for whatever type of content it is that you make. So that's the approach that you want to take when it comes to packaging your content up, when it comes to targeting search. Is when you're targeting search, that's one way to get traffic. And I can't even put into words how effective it is. Super effective. But if you can get your videos to perform well and get people to click and search, then you can make sure that you can also, make them compelling enough as an entire package, title, thumbnail, and topic, title, and thumbnail, that they come together as such a good package that people respond to them, wherever it is that you are, wherever it is that they're being presented those on the platform. So then in that case, you're going for discovery. You're not just going for ranking. You're going for just full brute force discovery at that point in time, because you're not just saying, hey, I'm just targeting search, which you can, you want to, know where it is that your primary is, but it's like, I'm not just targeting search. Like I'm going for like brute force discovery on this. It's not just search. I'm trying to get search. I'm trying to get somebody's attention on their home pages and, when I'm being recommended next to other content.
Super chat.
YT Ninja D says, I'm close to 1,000 subs for the year and also getting, this just scrolled up, also getting 3,000 watch hours in a year. When should I start a merch store so I get sales? Man, I have a whole podcast about this. So when it comes to monetizing your YouTube channel, I recommend that you do that right away. So even if right now you're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, you don't need 1,000 subscribers. You don't need to have a merch shelf in order to sell merch. I would start selling merch now. So as an example, this that I'm wearing right now, it's not my merch. It's merch from another content creator, right? Because I'm like, oh, this is dope, right? Because I'm a streamer. It's comfortable, like it looks cool. It's just simple, right? It's a thing that I can have like as an identity piece, right? Like I'm a streamer. When I go out, people are like, oh, hey, you live stream, right? So I use it as like an identity piece, and it's comfortable, and it's, it looks cool in my opinion. I even got stickers. I don't know where the stickers are, but I got stickers for it that say streamer too. But, when it comes to merch, like the idea is that instead of just making merch or if you want to sell more merch, the idea isn't just making merch that's based on your logo, which is fine. Like if you're like, hey, I just want people to wear my stuff, then in that case, then you can just do that. Or if you're not like serious about the merch because you monetize in other ways, like in my case, like I just think it's cool for people to wear the stuff that I make. Like for me, it's not necessarily about like, hey, I'm trying to make a bunch of money off of merch. I actually price things with merch to where I make like as little as possible, so that it reduces the price on the merch as much as possible for the people that get it. But if you want to sell more, then what you do is instead of making it about you make it about the viewers. So in that case, like you'll see in some of the stuff that I have, some of the more recent stuff. Do I have my coffee cup laying around? I don't think I do. But some of the recent stuff that I have, because I have a bunch of stuff with my Niminati logo on there. But some of the other stuff I have, like it's like, subscribe to me on YouTube. And with those, they sell more because it's more about the viewer, right? It's more about you. It's not about like, hey, I'm repping an Niminati shirt. It's more about like, oh, hey, this is going to help people while they're watching my video and I'm wearing the shirt. It's going to remind them to subscribe to the channel. And then there's also one that I made. Do I have it on? No. There's also one that I made to where I call it All the Stuff. And it's just a big square. And you might see it on your screen somewhere right now. I'm not sure, but it's just a square. And that square, it says like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, blah, blah, blah. But it's like a big square of like all the calls to action that we use as YouTubers. And that one, again, is for the viewer because you can relate to that type of thing and those sell more. So because of that, what you want to think about if you're trying to generate income from merch is you want to think, okay, sure, I'm going to have my logo stuff because that stuff's cool too. But I'm also going to make sure that I'm putting out merch that is more about the viewer than it is about me so that I can increase the amount that I'm selling if you're trying to generate actual income from merch. So like, let's say, for example, if you're making like content about cars, like car repair stuff, then in that case, like most of your merch have your logo stuff, but most of your merch should be things that people that are like mechanics would be like, oh yeah, that's so clever. I got to get that shirt. Like Roger, right? Roger Wakefield's in the house right now. Like in his case, like his merch, I don't know if he's doing merch or not, but if he's not doing merch, he should be doing merch based around like funny plumber stuff, right? Because then his audience would be like, oh, that's great. I gotta pick up one of those, right? So in addition to his cool logo that he has, his Roger Wakefield merch, in addition to that, because I know he has it, I just don't know if he sells it on the channel. But in addition to his logo stuff that he has, making like a whole set of plumber merch is something that, that he would be able to leverage for his specific audience. And you should do the same exact thing. Even if it's like gaming stuff, of course, you can't put like the catchphrases or you can't put like the imagery from the games because of the copyright stuff. But like if you were doing games, then in that situation, if there's things that happen in the game, like let's say, and I use Call of Duty, Fortnite, and GTA because those are the ones that I play the most. But like if you are If you're doing something about like Fortnite, for example, then in that case, you could say like a phrase of some kind that only Fortnite people that played Fortnite would understand. So that when the Fortnite players saw that, they'd be like, oh, this is hilarious. And then they would, pick that up. So it doesn't have your logo on it per se, or maybe it does, but it's small, but it's more about, the funny thing with the audience or the relatable thing with the audience than it is about the creator.
Super chat.
Prince Voodoo says, Nick, you and D are rock stars of YouTube's how-to gurus. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Says your knowledge and insight on all things YouTube is impeccable. Keep up the great work. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that massively. Always feels awesome getting comments like that. So thank you. Let's see here. We've got also.
Welcome to the Niminati.
Catherine Storing, welcome to Niminati. Make sure next time you're on Facebook, you look for Niminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. Fill out all the stuff on the way in because that's how I verify you're a member. If you can't find that or you just don't want to look for it, on the channel page, you'll see videos that are members only. If you click on either of those, I think there's like 3 up there, 2 or 3. I actually got a GoPro so I can record a bunch more. I've been driving around and recording a bunch while I'm driving, just like thought stuff that you need to know about. But anyway, if you click in the description of those, then there's a direct link to the Facebook group there as well. All right, I think I got all of those, and then I will. 46 Gang says we got to play COD one day, Nick. So my PlayStation handle is my name, and I do it as my name just for fun. So if I kill somebody and they just happen to watch my YouTube channel, then in that case it would be like, oh, straight, yeah, I just got nailed by Nick, right? So I actually have my PlayStation name as my name. So feel free to add me over there. If you Call of Duty, Fortnite, and then GTA, you'll see me every now and then as well. Oh, we got Daniel Patel in the house. Daniel, what's up, man? If you're in the house, hope that you are doing awesome. Nice to see you swinging by as well. Oh, he is right there. Boom. Saying digital tools of trade. Listen, if I learned anything from Jimmy Buffett and Hank Williams Jr., it's that it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Hey, it's the truth. That is absolutely the truth. Okay, so next up on our list here, I just had to make sure that I got all of those taken care of there. Hey, Roger, man, thanks again for that massive super chat, man. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. You're the man, dude. Thank you. Okay, next up on our list, we've got Who's Your Daddy? Man, I love that name. Who's Your Daddy Food and Travel? Who's Your Daddy Food and Travel says they make content on okay, they're not saying they make content. Okay, so the type of channel they have is food and travel reviews. The goal of the channel is I would like to eventually do food and travel reviews full time. The question is how to make a channel trailer on mobile and what are the benefits and reasons for having a channel trailer? Okay, benefits and reasons of having a channel trailer is if you are trying to grow your audience, then basically a channel trailer just gives them the opportunity for the people that hit your channel page. It gives them the opportunity to just get some insights about you and why it is. Basically, it's a sales tool essentially that you're using to convert viewers into or potential subscribers into subscribers. So because of that, you want to think that one video, it needs to be under 2 minutes in order to even get into that spot, but it's under 2 minutes. And basically just like a normal video, you got to grab their attention in some way when it first starts. And then once you grab their attention, start talking about what it is they are going to get from your YouTube channel. Then after you focus on them for a bit, do a quick call to action and then start talking about yourself. Let them know, hey, the reason I'm doing this is because of X, Y, Z, or you can even leave that out because some of that stuff's going to come out over time in your videos anyway. But basically your trailer is more about why people should subscribe to your YouTube channel. And you don't want to do this. You don't want to do, I am thinking that, Daniel, but basically you don't want to do a, like, hey, it'd really be awesome if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel because, I'm trying to grow this channel and all that stuff. Cause that's all about you, right? You don't want to make it about you. You want to make it about the people that are watching your content or the people that you want to watch your content. You want to make it about the value that you're bringing to them. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about them. Right. So because of that, just when you're putting your trailer together, just keep that in mind. Don't ask, don't be like, oh, it'd really do me a solid if you'd subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to see if I can get to, 1,000 subscribers by this time next, May or whatever. Like, don't do that. Instead, make it about them, the value and the benefit that they're going to get from watching your content, interacting with what it is that you're doing.
Super chat.
The Tarantula Collective says, any tips on how to avoid creator burnout or how to take a month off without getting hit hard with the algorithm? Yeah. So when it comes to taking time off, I recommend that you just make some content and then just publish it. So instead of doing like an entire month off, if possible, if you can do this, instead of taking a whole month off, I recommend that you do make like one video and then just publish that video in like 2 weeks. So then you have like, if I'm taking a month off, then I have something that drops right in the middle, so that I keep activity going on the channel. But keep in mind, like if you have content that is just driving viewers to your channel anyway, then you can take a break and your channel's still going to continue to get activity. So that's fine. You just have to come in hard when you come back and make sure that every single content decision that you're making is in alignment with the audience and what it is that they respond to on your YouTube channel. But when it comes to the burnout side, sometimes you just got to take a break. That's how it is. So if you're doing YouTube in addition to your life, in addition to your job or school and all that stuff, then in that situation, like there comes a time to where it's like, man, all I'm doing is just like grinding this stuff out. Like I'm waking up every day and I'm not doing anything until I go to sleep except like working. So in that situation, some people thrive in that situation. Some people don't. If you don't thrive in that situation, then you need to allot some time to yourself, and be it a week, a month, whatever it happens to be, then, take that time if you need to, because, if your mind's not in the right place, then everything sucks anyway. So because of that, you want to make sure that you focus the time on your own mind. Now, another thing to consider as well, when it comes to the burnout side, if you're somebody that is just like grinding things out, then another thing to think about is like, instead of grinding it out every day, just dedicate like, 3 days a week or 4 days a week to what it is that you're doing. And then just give yourself 2 days where you don't do anything, like, or where you just do less or something like that, to where it's not like a full grind. So let's say, for example, you have your job, and you like, after your job is done every day, then you come and you work on your YouTube channel, and you're just like a one-man team. You're doing everything yourself, or one-person team. You're doing everything yourself. And because of that, you're just kind of burning the candles at both ends. Well, just take some days off. Just be like, you know what? Today is just not one of those days that I'm going to do anything. I'm just going to like lay around, and I'm going to get some sleep because I need to get some sleep. I'm going to hang out with some friends because, it makes me feel good hanging out with friends, and I need to recharge my batteries today. So, that's another approach you can take. Instead of just saying I'm out for a month, then, you can say, hey, I'm just going to cut back, and I'm not going to be like as active and everything. Sometimes like I have to take social media breaks, because I get like supercharged on social media, because like, people will, especially right now, because of what's going on in the world, like there's some ridiculous people on the internet, as we all know. And because of that, like there's some people that are, I just have a lot of disagreements with a lot of the things, not a lot, but some of the things I see on the internet these days. So because of it, I have to make sure that I don't absorb myself in that. And sometimes I have to literally just shut everything off for the rest of the night, or for a day, or just not even open that stuff up for like a week, so that I can just focus on, the stuff and maintain my mind space. Because the funny thing is like with everything that we do, like every comment that we read that gets us fired up, every Facebook post that we read that gets us fired up, every tweet that we read that gets us fired up about something, every Reddit post that we read that gets us fired up about something, or makes us say, what a XYZ, or it makes us say like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they think that, or it makes us say like, yeah, they're right, I can't believe this is blah, blah, blah. Like whatever that thing is, like whatever triggers us, like when we see those things, like we carry that with us, if we like it or not, like we carry that stuff with us. It impacts us. It impacts us. So because of that, sometimes you just need to take a break from that stuff too. But what's really important though, when it comes to the burnout side, is that you do just prioritize your mind state first. So something funny, I won't say it's funny, but like I had a period of time, like during all this stuff that's happened with the, with what's going on in the world right now, like during all this stuff, like I had a period of time where I started getting like really like down, and I started feeling like really like not motivated. And this is the first time I've actually even said this, like live or anywhere actually, besides like some friends. But basically like I had a period of time where I started feeling like just like really low, and I got I wouldn't say depressed, but I just got kind of like demotivated, and I was just kind of like, just bummed out, right? Because I was just consuming a bunch of stuff all the time that I didn't need to be. And it's interesting because like, I have a girlfriend, but like, I don't have like a family to take care of or anything like that. And I started seeing, there's somebody that, and I won't, say who they are, but like somebody was making a post on Facebook, and they've got like a family and kids and all that stuff. And they're talking about like, just, their positive outlook on everything, and like how, like their thing with what it is they're doing. And I had to take a second, and I had to think to myself, like, they have like all the stuff that they're doing, plus an entire family to take care of, and they're able to handle this. So I was like, I had to go look in the mirror, and I'm like, what am I like? What's really going on here, right? And what it ended up being, and I meditate every day and all that stuff. So because of that, like I have no problems like digging into my own brain trying to figure stuff out. But what I identified was it wasn't necessarily like what was going on. It was that I was constantly bombarding my brain with it, right? And it was that I'm constantly, just feeding all of that negative stuff of what's going on. That's painting this bleak picture of like, what is going on, instead of looking at it like, sure, it could go, either way, and this, that, and other thing, or it might end up being fine. We're humans. We, this is what we do. We, end up in situations and we end up, working our ways out of them, whatever. But like, instead of like basically I just had to take a different approach, and I had to stop consuming, all the stuff that was kind of dragging me down. So, so when it comes to the burnout, sometimes it can be work, but sometimes it can also, the whole reason I even walked down this road in this conversation is that sometimes it can be the workload. Cause I've been through that, on YouTube as well. When I was growing my channel, I had a period of time to where, I had my channel, another channel, plus I was on my, design service as well. And I was also building a website on the back end and making all the stuff for the website so that I could have something to offer, once I came back to this channel seriously. So like I had this period of time where I was literally I was just working from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, and that didn't play out well either. But even with that, I had to come to a point where I had to make a decision on like, okay, this is, like I have to stop it right here, and I have to make a call on what direction it is that I'm going to go in. But the idea that I'm trying to express is that sometimes it can be the work, sometimes it can be the other media that you're consuming or the other things like that. So when it comes to burnout, just try to identify what it is that's actually causing the burnout, because you don't want it to reappear. And the easier and faster that you can identify what it is that's actually burning you out, then in that situation, then you can just cut back on that instead of having to cut back on everything else that, that is important to you. So a little bit of a ranty there, but, I just wanted to share all that. Okay. So next up on the list, and I think we had another channel member come through really quick, so I'm going to, or a super chat or something. I saw something pop up on the screen, so I'm going to answer that really quick, and then we're going to get back into the form here. Yeah, it was from Anna Marie. So Annie Marie says,
Super chat.
You are so inspirational and knowledgeable. Your content has been what has kept me going. Thank you for the kind words, Annie Marie Edwards. I appreciate that tons and tons and tons. Thank you for the kind words. Always makes me feel awesome getting those. So thank you very much for that. Massively appreciated. Thank you. And I think I'm just double checking here. Yeah, Moetz was the last one there. So we're good there. Okay. So next here on the list, we have, we got Who's Your Daddy taken care of. Excuse me. Okay, next up on the list, we've got Alex Gear and Tech. Uploading one time per week or more, tech reviews. The goal of the channel is to become recognized as a place to go to for real-world tech reviews. The question is, I spend a lot of effort creating content every week. Should I be dialing down the quality and focus on quantity? So this is another one where you got to use your stats. So if people are responding to what it is that you're doing, and the answer is yes, and you're getting people, like people are watching your videos for a fair amount of time and things like that. If you identify that, yes, people are responding and I am able to hold attention when it comes to, the videos I'm putting together, then absolutely you can start experimenting with scaling back some of the stuff that you're doing that adds to the quality. Just start scaling it back just here and there. Right? Like, for example, for me, one of the things that I started doing was pulling back how much graphics that I was using on the videos, and all of the extra time that went into making all those graphics. Not using as many graphics still gets a really similar result in terms of the audience retention. So because of that, by identifying that that was something that was making my videos look cool, but it wasn't necessarily something that was adding to the value that people were getting, I was able to take that out or minimize it. And because of that, some videos I do now, I don't even have any graphics at all. But because of that particular, experiment. But what you want to do in your situation is you want to say, okay, I'm adding all this stuff to the videos. It makes for a really cool video. I'm really proud of it. But it adds so much time to what it is that I'm doing that I could possibly, adjust some of this to make another video. So if you want to put out more content, then one of the things you're going to have to do is find the time to do it. And one of the places you might find the time is all the time that you're putting into the one video. So what I recommend is just start scaling it back. Let's say that you use, like 20 B-roll clips or 50 B-roll clips in your video, then maybe try scaling it back to 25 and just see if anybody notices. right? And don't see if anybody notices in the comments, see if anybody notices in terms of how long they actually watch your video for. Because if people are still watching the videos for the same or a very close amount of time, then you just save yourself a whole bunch of time. You're going to be able to make more content, and you're doubling with the extra content. You're doubling the opportunities that you're giving yourself in terms of having possible videos that do way better than other videos, possible videos that get shared more in other places by other people, possible videos that websites or companies will pick up or want to sponsor you for, or anything like that. So, because of that, you can absolutely pull it down a little bit. Another thing to consider is if you have momentum and everything's going well on your channel, and you do have some type of income coming from your channel, you also might want to consider just reinvesting that into hiring an editor to help you out. And then you can make the content, pass it off to the editor so that you have the time for the extra video. You edit one video, and then you have one video that you pass off to an editor, and then you let them do their thing while you have one video where you do your own thing. Consider that as well if you're trying to get out more content. Next. All right, let's see here. Savage. I'm just going to hop into the chat here really quick. We got Mike Phillips saying, hey, Scully's House of Thrillers. Hey, Scully's House of Thrillers. What's up? Deo in the house. Deo. We've got Meditation Power Unlocked. Nice. Nice. Meditation Power. What was that sound? Almost like I heard music. Huh. Meditation Power Unlocked. Very, very cool. I'm not on this computer. I actually want to check out your channel. Hopefully I'll remember to check that out later. Let's see here. Dole Whip Dad in the house. Space Claps. What is up? Costume CO also in the house. I just wanted to give some shout outs here really quick. Say what's up to some people. We've got Lop, LOP. What's up? Saying, how do you create playlists like YouTube originals? YouTube actually, they do those. Breadwinner Jozan. What is up? Nice to see you here as well. Daniel Batal. As always, Beanie Draw, as always. What's up, dude? Nice to see you here as well. GB Game Tech saying, do you need tech products to make tech reviews? Because I feel it gets boring. Well, yeah, if you're doing tech reviews, having the products to make the videos about is probably a really good approach. Because if you have the product to make the videos about, then in that situation you have the thing to talk about. Unboxing review with Kate says, oh, I don't mind. Okay, so you're having a conversation there with somebody else. Glue guns. Okay. Very cool. Okay, so I'm going to get back into the questions here. We're going to start with another question. I'm going to fill this thing up with water, and then we're going to get rocking and rolling in the meantime.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right, so our next question is from Alex Gear and Tech. And Alex Gear and Tech says that they do tech reviews. And, I did that one already. Okay, so next up on our list then is for Darkurai Gaming. Darkurai Gaming says that, let's see here, they do every other day. They have a gaming channel, and the goal of the channel is it's just to make use of my extra time. And the question is how to automatically upload your live stream once it's over. Great question. So when you go into your settings, you'll see the option to unlist it or to not unlist it. So all you have to do is just make sure the unlisting is off. That's it. If you have it to where the unlisting option is off, then in that case, it'll automatically show up on YouTube for you. Now, if you're doing it on a phone, you might have to go in and do that on using desktop mode in Google Chrome on your phone. Or if you're on a Mac or on an iDevice, you can actually do it in Safari. I think at least on a tablet, I know it defaults to desktop mode. But desktop mode, you'll be able to do that if you go into your live stream settings on YouTube. Lobby Gaming. They say they've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do a live streaming channel. Cool. Love it. Says, I love making content. That's the goal of the channel. Off to a great start, right? You win every day. Every time. If the goal of the channel is I love making content, then every time you're working on something, you're winning. Love it. Says, the question is, good day. How do I grow my stream as a gaming streamer? You got to allot some of your time to paying attention to how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, through making sure that you're looking at your retention on your videos, making sure that you're paying attention to how people are clicking on your videos. You have to do that by making sure that you are just being mindful of what's happening on your channel by using the data that YouTube gives you. So, for example, if you're trying to grow with a stream only, then you have to be able to grab somebody's attention on their replay, because you have the side of, the people that will participate just in your live streams, but you also need to make content that is going to live longer on YouTube. And what I mean by that is if you are just uploading live streams and your live streams have this big long start and all that stuff like I do, Icebox Plays, welcome to the channel, saying just subscribe there. So make sure Icebox Plays that you check out my channel page as well. I've got an entire YouTube channel full of YouTube help information. But basically, back to the question here in terms of growing your stream as a gamer, stream it at the same time every day or whenever it is that you stream. Just pick days and times that you stream and do that. Use your data in order to get an idea of how people are responding to your streams. Like you can see based on this back here, you can see, exactly how people respond to your live streams, right? So you can see there, you can see the graph on, like it starts out, it shoots up and then it goes for a while and then my energy starts dropping. And when my energy starts dropping, then, people start kind of leaving there a little bit, or when I go on rants and whatnot, and then it goes there for a little bit, kind of stabilizes, and then it'll kind of go, up and down a little bit, that sort of thing. So you just need to get that type of information to see how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, so that you can make sure that people are digging what it is that you're putting out there. In addition to that, you want to think about the replay value, and what I mean by that is how I was talking a second ago about your videos living longer on the platform. You got to make sure that when you're putting out your content, that it's going to become a replayable video that they're still going to get value from. So you need to think of, okay, when my video first starts, I'm not going to do it like Nick, to where I'm like, hey, welcome to Nick Live, blah, blah, and then I start talking about all this other stuff. You got to think like, okay, hey, when this thing first starts, I'm coming in hot in terms of my energy's got to be up, or I'm just going to be doing me, whatever that happens to be. But I'm just going to the video is going to start and I'm going to be doing my thing. I'm actually going to tell people exactly what it is that I'm playing, exactly what it is I'm trying to accomplish, why I'm playing that thing, so that when people are coming in, when it's a video, then they're going to be like, okay, this is what they're playing. This is what they're trying to accomplish. Let's see if they can accomplish this particular thing that they're trying to accomplish in the game that they just told me, right? So you're kind of opening that loop in that situation. So that's what you want to do as a gaming streamer. You also have to do the same exact thing that everybody does, is you have to make sure that you are titling and adding thumbnails to your videos or your live streams that people respond to. Because if you don't do that, then you're not gonna get the click. Next up, we've got Tyreek's Underrated, and the Gaming Discord with Friends channel is the type of channel. Goal is 300 subscribers. How have you grown this far in such a short time? It hasn't been a short time. It has not been a short time. I've been doing this for quite some time. I've been on YouTube since September of 2014. So next, Encrypted Angels, no worry, you are all good. So next month actually is going to be my 6-year anniversary for YouTube. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. So next month, September 14th will be my 6-year anniversary for my first upload. So it definitely isn't a quick thing, but averaging, over 100,000 subscribers a year. Not bad. I mean, of course, more of that happened, after the ball got rolling, but if you average it out, not bad. Okay. So let's see here. The next one here is from Jolene Breebles. Jolene Breebles says that they do woodworking, wooden toys, and decorations. Beanie Drawl saying 5 years for him as well. And the question is, I just reached 10,000 subscribers. High five, fist bump to you. And but my views are way too low, around 1,200 real-time views in 48 hours. How can I reach more viewers? So I'm not sure exactly what your channel is without actually looking at it. But depending on the type of content that you're doing and what it is that you're doing, you might have some type of churn rate, kind of like I do. So like if you look at my channel, like I'm in a similar type of scenario to where my subscriber count doesn't really reflect how my videos do. And the reason for that is because like my channel gets a lot of activity because people are wanting to learn how to do YouTube, but YouTube's hard. And since YouTube is hard, a lot of people will subscribe to my channel and they'll start interacting with my videos, but then they'll quit because they'll realize that YouTube is hard, and they'll start thinking that, they're not getting the results they want because of YouTube, instead of thinking they need work to do, or they'll identify that they've got a lot of work to do in order to make it work, and they'll just quit YouTube. And because of that, my subscriber count doesn't accurately reflect, or my view count doesn't, my subscriber count doesn't reflect the views that I technically should have for a channel my size, right? So because of that, you could be in a similar situation based on the content that you make. In addition to that, the videos that have driven your channel, right now you have 10,000 subscribers on your channel, but your views are low. So the views that are driving, or that drove your channel to 10,000 subscribers, those videos might not be the content that you're making now. They might still be woodworking content, but topically, the things that you're actually making the videos about, maybe woodworking, you had a period of time where you're showing people how to make cabinets because that's something you're working on at the time. And I'm just being hypothetical on the things that you were making, but hopefully you'll get the idea from this. Like if you had a period of time where you're making videos about cabinets, and then people came in, they subscribed to your channel because they were, they love the cabinet content, but then everybody that was watching those videos, or you finished your cabinet series, and that's the stuff that ended up growing the channel. But now you're making stuff about building a shed, or, making furniture, but those people don't really care about making furniture because they were just coming in and subscribing because the value they got out of the cabinets, because that's the stuff that, they were doing, or that they are doing if those videos are still driving traffic to you, and they don't really care about the furniture that you're making. So because of that, you have to identify, one, what it is that people are actually getting from your content so that you can lean on that. So if it was cabinets in that case, then you could try experimenting with more like cabinet videos and that kind of things. Or if it was furniture and cabinets would be a little bit more applicable to this situation, I think, because that would be something to where people would just need that content for that thing, and then they wouldn't really need it again, which is kind of what I'm trying to illustrate here. To where furniture, if somebody's into building furniture, then, of course, they might build, a bunch of different furniture for them, their friends. They might just like watching people build furniture, that sort of thing. But like cabinet making, that's something to where somebody might have learned what it is that you're teaching, but then they can just move on, right? And that's another problem that I have too, in terms of, people like learning, the base of what it is that I have, and then they get an understanding. They're like, okay, I'm just gonna do my thing, and instead of watching, these particular videos. So, you can be in a situation like that too. Next up on the list, we have Taylor's Mood in the house again. I think we got this one. If I were to risk using a 10-second clip of a copyrighted song on my video, is there a way to check if I'll get a copyright strike before putting it in the video? Don't risk it. I'm not even going to answer this question because I don't want you to risk it. Yeah, I don't want you to risk it. So just don't risk it. Don't use even 1 second of copyrighted material in your videos. It's not worth it. Even if, for whatever reason, it makes it through the system, right? Even if it makes it through the system on upload, that video might come back to haunt you. Let's say that you have a video go viral. Next thing you know, your entire channel, your entire momentum of your channel changes. Everything's going great. You're on top of the world. It's going great. And then here comes the copyright strikes just rolling in on all these little risks that you took on using this. Hey, I'm going to use this 10-second or 5-second or 3-second movie clip to make people laugh because it's related to what it is that I'm talking about. So I'm going to say something, and then I'm going to have like Seinfeld respond to it. Just real quick with a boink, right? And that moment that you took, that small little clip that you took, it comes back to haunt you years later. And the next thing you know, you got 3 strikes and your channel's gone because you wanted to take a risk of using some of that content because you thought it was okay at the time. It's not worth it. I promise you. If you didn't make it, don't use it. If you didn't make it or you didn't buy the license for it, don't use it. All right, next up, we've got Surprise It's Son. Surprise It's Son says that they do a Roblox Royale High channel to teach others how to get the items they want in the game and to entertain. The goal. My question is, should my keyword be my whole title or just a small portion? Keyword or keyword phrase plus compelling element. Compelling element is the thing that pushes people over the edge. And what I mean by that is you have your keyword, a keyword phrase to give YouTube context to what it is your video is about, keyword phrase to help the viewer that's looking for that specific thing know that that's what that video is about, or for the people that are interested in that specific thing to identify that that's what the video is about. And then the compelling element in terms of either your title or something you would add to your thumbnail to actually entice them to actually want to click on yours compared to the other options that they have. Surprise It's Son. Yes, I answered your question. Absolutely. You're probably, Surprise It's Son, you're probably thinking to yourself, like, all these questions and like, I'm just hanging out all this time. Surprise It's Son is probably thinking like all this time, just hanging out, waiting for my question to be answered. Probably never going to answer my question. Probably never going to get to it. I got you. Surprise It's Son. I got you.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. So we have the Logosphere says, how do I know if I'm being shadow banned? And is there anything I can do about it if I am? Okay, so if you are being shadow banned, it could be by the creator or it could be in general. So if you're being shadow banned, it's not necessarily that you're shadow banned, it's just that your comments are seen more. Think of it this way, like instead of looking at it like shadow banned, because that's pretty strong, look at it like my comments are suspicious, and because of that, they're being held for review by YouTube. So two approaches. One is YouTube is holding them for review. Two is channels are shadow banning you. If channels are shadow banning you, that is more of a shadow ban, because in that case, you can go to a channel. Like let's say, for example, if I banned you, right, from my channel, then what can happen is you can go and you can leave a comment on my channel. You'll see it. It'll look like you left a comment on my channel. You'll think you left that comment on my channel. But, and this is how you check, if you log in from another account, you won't see your comment. Right? Or if you log in, hey, ask your friend, hey, go look at my comments. You see, or go look in these comments. Do you see my name there anywhere? And they'll be like, no. And then you're going to be like, ah. And then you go and you comment on another channel so that you can see, okay, is it the creator? Go comment on a channel you've never watched before. Watch the video, be cool. Don't be a jerk and just comment and then like bounce, right? Just watch the video and interact, but leave a comment and then do the same exact thing to where they go and they do it on a channel you've never watched. And then if your comment's still gone, then YouTube has probably got you. But if your comment is there, but it's not on a channel, then the channel could have possibly gotten you. Because on all of, like, from my view, can I bring this up? Yeah, I think so. Here, I'm going to show you here real quick. So just to show you, I can. Okay, so this is another screen here. So so just to show you, like the option that I have, this is probably going to get really interesting here. Oh, okay, maybe not. Okay, so the option that I have from the YouTuber side, let's see here. So let's take Mystery Rock here. Mystery Rock, sorry. If I wanted to, and don't worry, Mystery Rock, I'm not going to ban you. But if I wanted to, if let's say Mystery Rock was in here and they were causing a ruckus, right? Then I could go down here and I could click on hide user from the channel. And then when I click hide user on this channel, then Mystery Rock wouldn't be able to, like anytime they left a comment, then I wouldn't actually see their, comment. Wait a minute. That's still that screen. You know what? I'm not actually sharing the screen. Hold on. Let me do that differently. You're probably like, hey, Nick, it's not working. I don't see it. Crazy Emma Comedy. What's up? Hey. Okay, let me share this screen. There we go. Oh, you know, it's not letting me. Oh, deny. Let's share the entire screen and then share. Boom. And then, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I accidentally, okay, this isn't going to fly. Yeah, I accidentally blocked myself from doing that. But anyway, I can just click over on the right-hand side. I can just click and I can ban anybody here in the chat, right? And the mods have this permission too, to where they can delete comments, they can ban people. So sometimes it's creator, sometimes it is YouTube. That's what I'm getting at. Next up, we've got the Logisphere saying, I feel as if my channel is being throttled. My alerts aren't going out to my subscribers. So here's the thing is your channel is probably not being throttled unless you're doing risky type content. Then they do in some of those situations. But some of the things that can happen is they can start showing your content to people. And if nobody's responding to it, then they stop trying to let other people know that you have it, right? Also, sometimes the notification system is broken. Other things that happen is, like just recently, they stopped sending out emails. So if you've noticed that, hey, I'm not getting any emails when I upload a video where typically I get an email, it's because YouTube just stopped sending emails to people. So email's not sending emails anymore. And some of you might not even know this, but YouTube isn't sending emails to people anymore when new videos are uploaded. So I'm considering, let me know if this is something that you're interested in. Doug's saying, hey, does anybody want me to ban him? Yeah, he's standing there like this with the ban hammer, right? Anybody want to ban? That's great. So, yeah, so I'm considering, let me know if this is something you'd be interested in or not, but I'm considering actually putting together like an email list of sorts. And it wouldn't be a marketing list. It would just be a list of where it's just where you can sign up for notifications. So YouTube took them away because there's like a really low percentage of people that actually used them. I personally use them like all the time, but there's a low percentage of people that actually, use the email and click through the email. So because of that, they took those away and they're just focusing on the phone notifications. So if you're interested in me setting up an email list, again, non-marketing, it's just letting you know about my videos, to where I can send out a notification to you when I upload a video. If that would be something you'd be interested in, let me know. If not, not a big deal. But if so, let me know and I'll put it together. I put this out on Twitter too. I'm just trying to get an idea if that's something you'd be interested in before I actually go through the process of making it. So let me know. You're still getting emails, Mike, for when videos are uploaded? Interesting. Yeah, they're supposed to stop that, or they should have been stopped already. Interesting. Yeah, good to know. Yeah, I wonder if they just stopped it for certain areas or something. Interesting. Yeah, it could be a slow thing that they're doing to where they might have started phasing them out, like Eric said. Yeah, so yeah, I'm surprised actually that you're still getting them. So next question we have here on the list is from Wolf Fills. And Wolf Fills says that, let's see here, they are doing a gaming channel to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting the views and watch time, but I'm not getting subscribers. What should I do? You got to think of why people should subscribe to your YouTube channel. If you're getting people to subscribe, if you're getting people to watch your videos, they're watching your videos for a fair amount of time, but they're not subscribing, then you have to think to yourself, why should they subscribe, right? Because I made the video is not a good answer. You should subscribe, or you should define something very specific that they are getting from you that they should subscribe for. So for example, with me, it's easy. Right? You should subscribe to me because I teach you about YouTube. I help you learn about YouTube, grow your channel, and make videos and all types of other YouTube related stuff. Right? So it's like crystal clear the value that you get here. You as a gamer or as just a content creator who's having the same problem, you need to think about like why. Define it. You have to define this stuff. Why should somebody click on this title? Why should somebody click on this thumbnail? Why should somebody click on them together? Why should somebody subscribe to my YouTube channel? And then you got to start thinking, once you identify those things, do people realize, do they know, is it clear why they should subscribe? So I know why they should subscribe. How easy is it for them to identify why they should subscribe? And then you start uncovering like a whole other list of problems. Like, okay, well, if I understand why they should subscribe, but people still aren't subscribing, then in that case, how do I make it clear to them why they should subscribe? Maybe I need to add a graphic in my video that just reminds them to subscribe. Maybe I need to tell them, hey, on this channel, we do this type of content every Wednesday. So if you want even more content like this, it's going to help you beat these games or whatever, then remember to subscribe, right? Maybe you got to tell them in that situation so it's clear, so they can identify that value that you are bringing. So, so if people are watching, but they're not subscribing, it's because they can't clearly understand why it is that they should subscribe, or they might, on the other hand of that, they could just be so engulfed in your content to where they're like, wow, this is like the best game I've ever, oh, this is so entertaining, but they're not thinking about subscribing because they're just focused on how awesome the video is. It could be that too. So in that case, you know, it's proven that reminding people to subscribe helps. So because of that, you should definitely be asking people to subscribe. Next question on our list here is from Ready to Watch. Ready to Watch says, I do variety content. The goal is to entertain people. And the question is, hello, I've been stuck at 209 subscribers for over 5 months now, and I was just wondering if you could help me. In my opinion, I've only been doing really high quality editing. It's not really working for views. Okay, so in addition to making awesome videos, you have to work on discovery. And this is one of those things that even if you're doing great content, just wanted to show that really quick. Even if you're doing great content, the thing that you still have to do is be able to get discovered. So if your videos are awesome and you're just not having people come in and watch them, then you have to think, because you've been stuck at 209 subscribers, then what you have to do if you're making awesome content, but people aren't watching it, and then if they watch it, they're not subscribing, is one, again, you got to identify why they're not subscribing, or you got to identify why they should subscribe, but you also need to work on discovery. And what that means is, when it comes to discovery, there's a bunch of different ways that people can find you on YouTube. They can find you through search. They can find you through the home pages. They can find you through the subscription feed. They can find you through suggested videos next to other content. They can find you on the trending page. They can find you in comments like this, right? In live streams. They can find you, you know, just any way that you interact on YouTube. They can find you possibly on like a story, you know, things like that. So what you have to think about is, when I publish my content, how can I frame my content in terms of the title and the thumbnail? Because, okay, you know that you're making excellent content. You know that your content's awesome. So since your content's awesome, That part's solved, as long as your data tells you the same. So that part's solved. Now, since you're working on discovery, you have to think from the outside. People who have never one time, they don't know me, they don't know my content, they don't know anything about what's going on in this video because they haven't had the opportunity to watch it like I have. All they see is my title and my thumbnail. How do I illustrate to them, to that potential viewer? How do I illustrate to them that this is something that they might be interested in? This is what's going on in the video. This is for them. How do I illustrate that to them? And then you have to start working on defining how you illustrate how each individual video, thumbnail and title, packaging, how you illustrate to the potential viewer that's only seeing it from the outside that your content's for them. And if you can spend time workshopping that and thinking like, okay, so the people that are watching my videos are the people that I want to watch my videos. Like, what kind of other stuff are they watching? What kind of videos on YouTube would they be likely to respond to? What are those channels doing to get people to respond? Right? Like these other gaming channels that are about the same size as mine or maybe a little bit bigger. Why are people responding to their stuff? Why are they clicking on their stuff more? What are they doing with their titles and thumbnails that I'm not doing? Right? And start researching, right? Well, what is it? How are they doing it to where they're making it clear, but I'm not? And then start, taking some of that information and applying it to what it is that you're doing. Like, that's going to give you tons of insights just by itself, because, I'm sure you've heard, hey, Dr. Sten in the house. What's up, dude? Nice to see you. I'm sure you've heard that like success leaves clues, right? That's like a popular saying in like, in like the business world or the entrepreneurship world, YouTube too. So what that means is if success is leaving clues, and success basically means that videos that perform well, if you go and you research those videos, how they're grabbing people's attentions with their thumbnails and titles, how they're putting the videos together, how fast they're editing in terms of their pacing, how they're zooming in and out, how they're switching scenes, how they're switching cameras, how they're communicating in the videos, how they're building up a story, how they're opening up additional stories within that story that they're building, how they're closing the video out, how they're getting people to watch another video, how they're driving people down to their description or not. Like all of those things, just go and pay really close attention. Look at how I'm doing it. Look at how I'm doing it. Look at how Roger Wakefield's doing it because he's getting a response. Look at how Heidi, Costume CEO's doing it. Like other people in the chat that are, Glue Guns and Roses, they're doing well too. Go look and see how they're doing it. Right? Like people that are doing well, like go and look at their channels. All the people that you watch, try to think like, why is it that I respond to this? Why is it that I click on these videos in the first place? Notice your own actions on YouTube, but then start thinking like these channels that I watch all the time, like why is it that I actually click on what it is that they put out? And in a lot of cases, it's going to come down to because I'm getting some type of value out of what it is that they're doing, right? That's going to be defined in a bunch of different ways, but it's going to come down to because I'm getting value out of what it is that they're doing. But even before I click on the video, I can see that I'm going to be entertained by this. I'm intrigued by this. This is piquing my curiosity. It's just a tutorial and I'm going to get value out of it, like direct value because I'm interested in this thing. I'm learning about it. But you're gonna, this video is making me think when I look at the thumbnail and title that it's gonna like inspire me in some way. So I'm gonna watch it. You're gonna start identifying those things that make you click or that make you, pay attention to some of the thumbnails and titles that you're seeing. So be mindful of your own behavior, but also pay really close attention to all the people that are doing well or that are getting momentum or have momentum on their channels. Like just pay attention to what it is that they're doing and just think, okay, what they're doing compared to what it is that I'm doing. And even do things like this. Because I know there's a lot of people here that probably haven't even like fully filled out their channel page yet. So like one thing that you can do is like look at open up your channel on your phone or on your computer. If you're on a computer, open up another tab with another channel that is doing well. And like go look at Dr. Sten's channel, right? He's rocking right now. So go look at Dr. Sten's channel, right? Look at his channel and then look at your channel and be like, okay, what does his channel page look like? And what does my channel page look like? What structure does he have for his playlist on his channel page? What's going on in his channel header, right? What's he doing in his channel header? Is it clear? Is he telling people what's going on in his channel? Look at mine, right? As I go down his channel page, what types of things am I being presented? What type of information am I being presented that's giving me context into this channel, but it's also giving me context into all these different series that can also, benefit me, or all these different videos that can benefit me as somebody that might be into that type of content that would benefit that type of viewer. And then go to their playlist page. Okay, well, this person's making a lot of playlists. I've only got like 2 playlists on my channel. This person's got like 50. right? So maybe they're driving people into playlists all the time and generating all this watch time, and they're getting all this continued viewing on their channel. And because of that, YouTube's like, hey, watch time machine. So we're going to send traffic here because they're generating tons of watch time compared to me, who I'm only making 2 playlists and I'm not driving anybody into them. And then you need to go to their About Me page and you're like, okay, how's their About Me page filled out? Okay, we got that. So my About Me page, I've got like a sentence. This person, they have like literal information that's about them and about their channel and maybe their upload schedule and what it is that they're doing. Then click on some videos. Okay, now we got the videos. How are they starting their videos? How am I starting my videos? Even gaming content. If you're doing gaming content, do this with other gamers. How are they starting their videos? How am I starting my videos? They're videos that do well. How are they? And I went through this whole thing a minute ago in terms of like watching the content and seeing all the different things they do, but then open up their video description. What is it they're doing in their video description? How is their video description structured? How's mine structured? Do I have one sentence in my description, or am I fully filling out my description with places where people can find out more about me, to where I have more textual information on more of what the videos themselves are actually about, things like that. But, are they using tags? Are they not using tags in their videos? How are they structuring their titles? Not just what titles they're using, but how are they structuring their titles so that they're grabbing attention of the people that they're trying to reach? What is it that they're doing in their thumbnails, right? But you got to pay attention to all this stuff, because when you do, it's going to start giving you tons of insights. And another thing you can do too is start doing it with different channels. Don't do it with channels that are like yours, but do it with channels that are not like yours too, because they might also inspire additional ideas as well. Next up, we've got Sham Anik 2.0 maybe. And the question is, I have an animation fan trailer and tutorial channel. The goal is to pay back my parents of their kindness. That's sweet. Can we get a clap, like a hashtag clap for that? That's kind. Super, super kind. That's awesome. Love seeing that. I'm not even a parent, and I love seeing that. That's super cool. But the question is, like, to me, that just illustrates that you're a good person, right? So high five and fist bump to you for being a good person. But the question is, okay, first of all, hi, Nick. My question is, how do I make more strategy and how to get more watch time? Okay. So that's a fantastic question. So when it comes to getting watch time, that comes down to getting people to, watching your videos for a longer time and making it easy for them to find more of your content by making sure that you're adding videos and playlists to your end screens, making sure that you're pinning comments to where they can find more of your content that way, making sure that you're adding comment or other videos in your description and letting people know that there's links to relevant videos in your descriptions as well. And by relevant, what I mean is that if they're watching a video on, cabinet making, then more of your videos that you'd be recommending to them would be based on cabinet making. If they're watching videos on changing oil, then another playlist that you might drive them into might be, more on changing oil or other maintenance on that specific car that you're changing oil on, as an example. But the idea is to make it easy for people to find more content that they care about. That's how you generate more watch time as the channel. But in terms of generating more watch time per video, that comes down to using your stats to start paying attention and learning how the viewers that are coming into your channel are responding to what it is that you're doing in your video content. Now, in terms of strategy is a whole other beast. So when it comes to strategy, that comes down to making sure that you know what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So when you know what it is that you're trying to accomplish on YouTube or anything, when you know what it is that you're trying to accomplish, then you can design everything around helping you achieve that goal. So in your case, your goal of the channel is to get 1,000 subscribers and pay back your parents. So 1,000 subscribers isn't going to pay back your parents, but generating income from your YouTube channel is going to pay back your parents. So what you need to do in that situation is you need to think, okay, I'm not trying to get 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to add value to as many people as humanly possible so that more people are going to keep coming back to my channel so that I can get more ad revenue, or so that I can offer additional things that are going to help me generate income that I will help be able to pay my parents with. So in that situation, what you got to think of is, if your goal is to generate income, then part of your strategy is to think about, right now you're doing animation fan trailers and tutorials, but you have to think about, if I'm trying to pay my family back fast, maybe that may or may not be the right type of content to actually pay them back. So you got to think of the goal first. And you think, okay, if the goal is to pay my family back, then I have to think of what type of content can I make that I would be able to generate the most revenue from, to where I'd be able to pay my family back as quickly as humanly possible through making that type of content that has a higher potential to generate more revenue. So the very first thing you do in that situation from a strategy perspective is you think of, this is the goal, this is the people that I'm trying to reach, or this is the content that I'm going to make, and this is the people that this content will serve that will also help me reach that particular goal. And then from there, when it gets down into the content specific stuff, then that's where you got to start thinking like, okay, when I make these videos, I get more ad revenue from it, or I drive more affiliate sales from it, or I drive more, brand awareness to sponsors, that sort of thing. So because of that, I need to double down on making this type of content, and I need to start coming up with other creative ways to drive traffic to this content that produces a higher income, so that I can start generating more income from my YouTube channel. So when it comes to strategy, it really comes down to simply, because strategy, it's kind of like a broad thing, it sounds like, but ultimately what it comes down to is it comes down to mapping out exactly everything it is that you need to do, and all the content you need to make, and all the decisions that you need to make, and all the things that you need to have in place, which is another really important part of it, and all the things that you need to have in place in order to achieve said goal, whatever that goal is. So on the 1,000 subscriber side, that one's easy. Because then in that case, all it comes down to is you figuring out how to make content that people respond to in terms of the videos themselves and the titles and thumbnails, which, that could be a hurdle for you, but that's just one problem that you have to solve really easy. And then from there, it just comes down to how can I add as much value to people as possible? How can I get them to watch more and more of the content by making it easier for them to find stuff, making videos back to back that are topically related, that one audience would care about, so that they'll keep watching video after video after video when it's presented to them on YouTube, so that I can get that 1,000 subscribers as fast as possible, because I'm turning my channel into a resource for one topic. Like that's how you make that approach for generating 1,000 subscribers quickly. So, but when it comes to strategy, you just got to think of the goal, and then you got to map out everything involved. All of this is planning. Strategy is simply planning and thinking of the attack that you're going to use in order to make that goal happen, whatever that goal happens to be for you. All right. So next up on our list here, really quick, we got a super chat from Jess Stanley. Jess Stanley says, "Hey, Nick, thank you so much for what you've done for me. Your tips have helped me reach almost 45,000 subscribers. High five, fist bump to you. You rock on, girl." Says 45,000 subscribers in my 17 months as a YouTuber. Keep doing what you do. Lifelong subscriber here. It's awesome, Jess. Love seeing that. Congratulations to you on your success that you are having on your YouTube channel. Keep rocking. Absolutely love seeing that. Absolutely love it. Okay, so next up on the list, we got Savage and I says, "Hey, Nick, when are we getting a beer so I can ask you a million questions?" I'm actually more efficient over coffee. So if you happen to make it to Chiang Mai, Thailand, then in that case, because that's where I'm at. So if you happen to make it to Chiang Mai, Thailand, then just shoot me a message on Twitter and or on Instagram or somewhere, and or email me through the About Me page link or through the business inquiry link on my About Me page. Just email me, and we'll meet at Starbucks, and we will just sit there and chat it up and have a coffee, and I will answer as many of your questions as I possibly can. So that's when. So when you make it to Thailand, or if you happen, once some of this stuff gets under control a little bit, if you happen to go to one of the conferences that I go to as well, because like Vid Summit, that's always on my list. Social Media Marketing World's another one that I'll be going to, once they start, opening those conferences back up again. But I think Vid Summit would be the next likely one. I think that's scheduled now for May. So if that happens, then that would be the place to go. And we can definitely grab a coffee. So Pablo saying, "Is there good coffee in Thailand?" That's a good question. Actually, there is. So coffee is actually like one of their exports here, and the area that I live, we're in the mountains, and there's like a lot of coffee grown around here, and there's a ton of Thai local coffee shops that sell local coffee. So absolutely. But the funny thing is, because of the environment, I still go to Starbucks. Go figure, right? So like I can have a coffee here for the equivalent of like $1 by having one of the local coffees, but silly me, because I like the comfort and the way that they set everything up at Starbucks, and I like the speed. Because like some of the other places, like some of the local places, you go there and it'll take you like 15 minutes to get a coffee. So because of that, I won't go to some of those, but Starbucks I go just because I like the environment and all that good stuff. Even though the coffee, isn't the best in the world. Unbox Review the Case says that's blasphemous. I know it is. Definitely is. So, it's Chiang Mai, CHIANGMAI, 2 words. All right. So next here on the list, we've got, we already answered that one. So next we've got Rose's Music. Rose's Music says that they have a music channel. The goal of the channel is to show my music talent to the world and entertain. The question is, I'm a musician. How do I reach out to people who like or want to watch my niche? Because lots of subs are my friends. Okay. So it comes down to your choices in content in order to get in front of people. So when you are making original music, it can be really difficult unless your talent is just off the charts. And by talent off the charts, I mean that people share your content when they do run into it. You've got your family and friends, every one of them sharing out your content like, wow, this person's amazing. And then the people that hear that are like, wow, that person is amazing. I'm sharing it with one of my friends. Like if you're off the scale or off the charts, I should say, with your talent, then that's the kind of thing that you can kind of lean on. If you're okay or you're good, but you're not off the charts, then in that case, you have to be a little bit more strategic. And in that case, that's where a lot of people will do like cover songs and things like that, to where they do cover songs on trending topic, or not trending topics, but like trending music, so that they can try to tap into some of that trending traffic around a specific song or a specific artist. And then they will end up being suggested next to videos and things like that around that song. And then that will help them, initially start getting some traffic so that YouTube can identify the right audience for that type of, or for that specific channel. All right, so let's see here. Lil Crafty Nook says, of course he has funds. He attends Bid Summit under normal conditions. It's in LA. Yeah, love Bid Summit. Absolutely love Bid Summit. Clear Skin and Wellbeing say never been to a Starbucks. Yeah, the coffee's not great, but the environments are pretty cool. Like they're experts at making it comfortable. And the really cool thing is, because I live in Thailand now, but like I grew up in America, and like the Starbucks there. And living in Thailand, like it's really cheap. Once you get over to Asia, it's really cheap to travel like all over the place over here. So because of that, I've been to like China a handful of times. I've been to Malaysia a handful of times. I've been to Japan a couple of times. I've been to the Philippines a bunch. I've been to Laos. I've been to Hong Kong. I've been like a lot of places around Asia. And the funny thing is, the ones that have Starbucks, as soon as you walk in, like you're transported back to, like wherever you first got your Starbucks. So like in my case, it was America. So like as soon as I walk into a Starbucks anywhere in the world, and even in like Armenia as well, as soon as you walk in, actually Armenia didn't have a Starbucks that I remember. Maybe they did. No, I don't think I went to a Starbucks in Armenia. Huh, interesting. Okay, but anyway, everywhere else, as soon as I walk in, like it's like, it's kind of like McDonald's, right? Like you walk into McDonald's, it's like, yeah, I'm in McDonald's, it feels familiar. Same thing with Starbucks, but except it's a really good vibe. The difference is, and this is kind of a funny thing for if you're not an international traveler, is with Starbucks, the snacks are different. So like I'll see people posting things about like something delicious. Oh yeah, in Melbourne, Melbourne had one. Yeah, I think so. I think they had one in Melbourne. Beanie, did we go to a Starbucks in Melbourne? I think so. But basically like the snacks are different. So like you'll walk into a Starbucks in Indonesia, and then all the snack options are different than if you walk into a Starbucks in Malaysia or Thailand. They'll be similar, but like how they package them up and like the sizes and things like that, like it's all different. It's interesting. Little side thing there. Now I'll get back into the questions because that's what you're here for. So let's see here. We got the musician taken care of. Next up on our list, we've got Artie Jasper. Artie Jasper says that they have an arts channel. The goal is to reach 1 million subscribers. How to come up with content. Okay, listen. If you are wanting to reach 1 million subscribers, like you are going to have to figure out how to come up with content. So in order to do that, and I'm glad you asked, because hopefully this will set you in the right direction. So when you are doing art, I'm not sure specifically what type of art content you're doing, because that's a pretty wide brush. See what I did there? Oh, I need a drum thing. Here, I've got it over here. See what I did there? And a pretty wide brush. There we go. Okay. So when it comes to your art content, finding trending things to do your art about is a win. And what I mean by that is like Beanie Draws, for example. What Beanie Draws should do, and we talked about this when we were in Melbourne, but what Beanie Draws should do is with every movie that comes out, he should make a dinosaur about that particular movie. And he should do that type of thing around, like when the Mandalorian came out, for example, he should have spent like 2 months doing nothing but Mandalorian content so that hopefully one of those Mandalorian pieces would take off, because he's a really good artist. And because of that, his potential to, tap into people that are interested in that thing with talent is pretty high. So because of that, if you're doing art, then in that particular case, I would recommend that you go after things that are trending. So like if a movie's coming out, or if like an event is happening to where there's going to be a heightened interest about that specific thing, that's where you want to do the art. And the reason for that is because when you are tapping into something with a higher interest, you're just increasing to simplify it, you're just increasing your potential of reaching more people, and you're increasing your potential for virality. So if like in Beanie's case, if he did it around the Mandalorian, or he did it around the Avengers or something like that, people that would be into that type of movie, plus they would be into art, then what he's doing in that situation is he's creating or tapping into a perfect storm for for the possibility of having content that, even if it doesn't go viral, it's content that ends up getting a lot more views, because it's something that's based around a higher interest than just dinosaurs, for example. So like his content's awesome. If you guys aren't familiar with Beanie and you're into art content, you need to check out Beanie. He's a super talented dude. But when it comes to, growing an art channel, there's the art side of things in terms of your talent, and that can get you a long way. But then there's also, and how you're packaging it also is important. So like in Beanie's case, like he puts out some thumbnails that we thought would be a good fit for him in terms of like colorful and vibrant and all that stuff. But the stuff that performs best for him, as long as it's still this way, Beanie, I'm not sure. But the thing that performed best for him was these just like black and white thumbnails. But even knowing that, I'm not sure if he's went back to it now or not, but even knowing that, he was like, well, I want to do these because they look better instead of because they're more effective. So even though the black and white ones perform better, he still leans on the color just because they look better. I'm not sure if he said it still works better. So so hopefully you're back. I haven't looked at your channel in a bit, but hopefully you are, hopefully you're back on the black and white thumbnails if they work better. So, so it really comes down to, being able to do that sort of thing. Now, if you're an artist serving artists, because people are talking about, niching inside of art, like that's important as well. But if you're like an artist serving artist, then your approach could be different. But if you're trying to get mass appeal, then, going on like trending things can be very, very valuable for you. Especially like if things come out like around like comic books and, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be movies. Like it can be, comic books that are coming out, or characters that are coming out, or new books that are coming out, anything like that, to where those people would be likely to also, be interested in art content. Okay. Next on the list, we have Ploppy54 Gaming. Says that the goal of the channel is to share my live for gaming and make a little dollar. Make a little tiny itty bitty tiny little dollar. It's like a little dollar. Like if it's $1, like this big of a dollar. Not like a dollar, but like a dollar. He wants to make a little dollar. Just giving you a hard time. No offense. Don't take offense. Just playing. Okay. So the question is, I don't want to get canceled with the world that we're living in. Right? Don't want to get canceled for making a dollar joke. But anyway, the question says, I know the fastest way to grow a channel is to niche down on a trending game, but I don't want to play just one game. Is it still possible for a variety gaming channel to grow? Absolutely. It's all in your approach. So when it comes to gaming, there's the side of like, hey, I'm going to play games. And then there's the side of, I'm going to be strategic about what it is that I'm doing so I can grow a gaming channel for the sake of being able to play games to an audience. What I mean by that is, a great example is there's a YouTube channel that I connected with while I was making content for the other channel that I had. And the channel is called The Schooled Zone. Now, the awesome thing about The Schooled Zone is, one, he's really good at putting content together. But two, I think he has over 100,000 subscribers now, I believe. I'm not sure where he's at. But anyway, really cool channel. And the thing that's cool about the channel is, at least at the time, I don't know if he's still doing this or not, but at least at the time, his gaming content was where he would play the games, but while he was playing the games, his unique value that he was giving was he would talk about the science behind the things that were happening in the games and the physics about the things that were happening in the games and things like that. So you got to watch him play the games, which he was good at, but he was also talking about like you left with a really cool experience, because in addition to watching him play the games, you were also getting education out of him as well, to where he was talking about, at the time it was like Fallout, I think was the game. And he was talking about like, the nuclear, like if that were to really happen, then this particular thing they have in the game wouldn't actually be the way that it is, because, the effects that would have had on it would have caused XYZ to happen, which would have caused decay on this and blah, blah. But he like really broke down a lot of really cool stuff. And they had like sandbags up, and he would talk about, these sandbags, typically a sandbag is, it has this much sand in it. It weighs about this amount of time. And the reason it's so effective is because of XYZ. But, like his content is filled with stuff like that. So in addition to watching him play the game, you also got a lot of, really cool education out of it as well, because it was just, like he was interested in that stuff. So he shared that through his gaming as well. So if you have something like that, to where you have an additional interest to your gaming, think if you can, think if you can leverage it in some way for the sake of, helping you grow your gaming channel. Next on the list, I said I wasn't going to hit it again, but I'm going to.
Next question.
Okay. Next one we've got is from Benzo101. Benzo101 says the goal of the channel is to help people learn about Brawl Stars and to spread positivity through videos. The question: I'm posting high quality videos, adding tags, good thumbnails, and I'm still not getting views or subscribers. What could help me and others? Okay. Good question. If you are making high quality videos, adding tags, good thumbnails, and you're not getting views or subscribers, either your videos, your thumbnails, or both are not as good as you think that they are. I know that you don't like to hear that. I know that that's not, like an encouraging thing for me to say, but it's important that you hear that, because if you think, first, you're going to be biased. You're the person making the content. You're going to be biased. You have to look at this stuff objectively, because if you think that your videos are good enough and you think that your thumbnails are good, but people aren't responding to them, then if people aren't responding to them, then they might be good, but they might not be good enough for those people to respond to. So you might need to change the approach that you're taking in order to get those people to respond to them. Because if everything is up to par, then people would be responding to them and you would have some views coming in. You might not be getting 1 million views. You might not even be getting 1,000 views, but you would have consistent views coming in when you uploaded, which would over time, end up increasing. And sometimes you'd have breakout videos. But if you draw that line in the sand and you're like, hey, my videos are great, my thumbnails are great, but it's just not working, then that's where it's like, okay, well, I got to look at this objectively so that I can make sure that my data is telling me that this stuff is okay, or I got to look at it objectively and say, you know what? If people aren't clicking on these, then maybe they're not as good as I think they are. They might look great. Don't get me wrong. They might look fantastic. You might just be nailing it in terms of the gradients that you're using and the color combinations and the picture choices that you're using. However, if people aren't clicking on them, then they're not effective. They might be good in terms of they might look good. They might be visually appealing, but on YouTube, good means effective. So you need to make them effective thumbnails. So if people aren't responding to what it is that you're doing, if you're not getting views, you're not getting subscribers, then you need to readdress all of those things that you think that you're doing well. Here's the thing. We can all improve. All of us, everybody that's watching this right now, myself included, we can all improve. There's something with what it is that we're doing that we can all improve on. For me, like I still work on my audience retention. I still think of like, okay, how can I say this in a way that would be more engaging? How can I open this up to where people will keep watching for a longer period of time, because it's important for them to get to this part, because if they don't get to this part and they leave during this part, then they're going to miss like a really important part of this equation. So I got to open this up in a way in order to get people to go further in the video, in order to even get them through this part so they can see the connection between the different things that I'm talking about, right? So like on me, it's getting people to watch longer, and it's the presentation side and how I share information. That's something that I need to work on. And just like my actual workflow is something that I need to work on, because during the whole situation that's going on right now, and quite a bit before also, like I've taken on a bunch of stuff, and I haven't actually worked that stuff into my system yet. And because of that, things are like a little bit crazy here, in the Niman house. So, so on my end, like working on my retention even more, and working on, getting my system a little bit better refined, that's stuff that I need to work on too. So, everybody that's here, we all got stuff that with our YouTube channels that we can definitely improve on, either on the front end or, behind the scenes. So, so never get to that point where you draw that line, you're like, hey, I'm doing all the stuff, right? Because there's something that all of us can do. Even, Dr. Sten and Roger Wakefield, and I'm calling them out because both of them are just crushing right now. So for like both of those guys, even though they're crushing, I guarantee you there's plenty of stuff that they can improve on as well, just like me, right? So even though they've got it, they've got it locked, like they're nailing it, there's still things that they can be like, yeah, you know what, I can do this better. I'm working on it, trying to get better at this, trying to get better at this. So, as soon as you draw that line in the sand, what happens is you cut yourself off from that potential of, taking that additional step of breaking through that threshold, because you think like, hey, I'm doing it all. So because of that, like there's no more room to grow. But as soon as you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to look in the mirror and be like, yeah, you know what? We got a lot of work that we got to do here, so that I need to roll up my sleeves. I need to learn more. I need to apply more. I need to spend more time on this thing right here that I'm not, that I'm kind of not paying much attention to right now. The more that we can do that sort of thing, then the more expansion that we have, and the better our skill sets get, and the better everything gets with what it is that we're doing. Okay, next up on the list. Let's see here. Beanie Draw says, unless you have 150 million subscribers, you can do better. Yep. Even with somebody with 150 million subscribers, they also have stuff they can do better. I guarantee you that even though they're rocking, I guarantee you that there's stuff on the back end they can do better. There's stuff within their workflow. There's stuff within, because at that time they would have like a massive YouTube business. So there's stuff within their YouTube business they can do better behind the scenes. Guaranteed. Plenty of stuff. Let's see here. So we've got Zaid Haroon. Says that they do gaming content, the goal of the channel is to entertain people. The question is, hey, Nick, how do we live stream on OBS? So when it comes to OBS, it's actually, I've got videos on that because explaining that here, like it can be, technically I can say just plug in your camera, connect it to your OBS and start streaming, because technically it's all you got to do. And you got to connect your stream key and all that stuff. But I have a video taking you like step by step how to set up Streamlabs OBS, how to set up OBS, and like how to do like cool stuff with them. So I recommend that you watch those. You can find them if you click on my name down at the bottom of the screen right now, or below this video. Click on my name, go to my channel page, scroll down that channel page, and you're going to see some OBS and some Streamlabs OBS tutorials. Next up, we've got Travel with Wendy. Wendy's traveling around, checking out places. The type of channel is travel info, interviews, and advice. And the goal of the channel is to help create an audience that will be interactive and lead to sales on my website. So the goal is sales on the website. I create ebooks, itineraries, and other travel content. Interesting. So the question is, I'm using vidIQ. Thanks for suggesting. I don't think I'm utilizing it at the best. My titles only get 50%. Right now, my content isn't trending because of what's going on in the world right now. How do I create relevant trending content related to my brand during this season? Okay. So this is a tough one because it's travel related content. I haven't personally had to overcome this problem, so I'm going to just brainstorm with you on this. So how would I overcome the situation of basically having the faucet turned off of interest with travel content? So I think one thing that I would do in that situation is I would definitely make a video about, like feeling like a trapped traveler. In addition to that, I would also make videos, especially in your case, if you're doing itineraries for people and stuff. I would also make videos on places that would still be open for travel. I would make videos on, in terms of like, hey, if you are traveling during this time, I would make a safety video. Hey, if you're traveling in this time, these are things, this is how you can keep yourself safe during travel. I would make another video on things that you might have to deal with if you're traveling right now. Again, low interest on all these because not a lot of people are traveling. But these are things that maybe they might be low right now, but once things do start opening up, that could be beneficial for you. For the people that are stuck inside right now, or that are just stuck not traveling, man, what would I do in that one? Yeah, because even stuff about like packing your bags and that type of content isn't really a great fit. Yeah, I'd have to spend some time on that one to really come up with, to really kind of unbox that particular one or to unpack that one. But I think that there's definitely a solution. It's just going through the process of actually finding that solution of what it would be. But right here on the spot, I can't off the top of my head think of like great videos to make for a travel, channel that isn't going anywhere. Or it's not necessarily for not going anywhere. It's for people that can't go anywhere. So you have content you can make, but the response is low because the interest in the topic is low. So like as an example here, we had somebody Travel with Reedy says show videos of your area, which might be good for the people that are in your area if your area isn't under lockdown or under any type of restriction like that. But then you got to think, if you're making travel content, would those people be traveling to your area? Do you live in an area that is popular for travelers? If you do, then that's a win. But if not, then not so much. But in her situation, I guess if you did make videos locally, then in that situation, you could do, you could start, instead of targeting world travelers, you could target local travelers. But again, you're in that situation about things actually being open or not as well. So yeah, you're in an interesting situation. But you could start talking about, I think Dr. Sten is the one that just said it. Start talking about, like what to do when when things do start opening up, like the first things that you need to do, when things do start opening up, that sort of thing. Planning a vacation when it opens it up. When it opens up is his recommendation. How to plan for traveling abroad. Good video just in general. But right now, not a lot of people traveling. I mean, there's a lot of people, but in comparison, like as an example, like I said before, I'm in Thailand. So our borders are closed. Typically we get, I can't remember how many millions of people we get every year, but we get, like millions of travelers every year here. But because of what's going on, like our borders are literally closed. So unless you are being repatriated, you can't come in here as a tourist. So because of that, for the past 6 months, it's been that way. 5.5 months, it's been that way. So because of that, all the people that had interest in coming here, all that's gone. In terms, and some of the airlines, there's issues and things like that. So yeah, it's a whole thing. Roberto Blake in the house. What's up, dude? Nice to see you in the chat here. Roberto always got the good ideas. He says, I'd make content for bored travelers stuck at home, and I'd make videos about places that are safe to travel. I would make videos about getting refunds on canceled trips, etc. Yeah, it's a good approach. I would think that in a lot of cases that the canceled trip thing probably might have happened already. Maybe not, because some places are open and then they end up locking down all that. Yes, that's actually a really good approach, actually. But yeah, bored travelers stuck at home. Yeah, you know what? I ran across on Reddit today. I can't remember. I think it's called like virtualvacations.com. Not sponsored in any way. I don't even know if it's quality, but I saw somebody posting on Reddit today that particular website is a place where you can take like virtual things. So you can do like flyovers of areas, and you can watch videos on things within that area and stuff like that. So in that situation, you could make videos about, hey, if you're stuck at home, then you could do, hey, take virtual vacations. These are 3 different ways you can take virtual vacations. You could talk about that website. You could talk about VR, because VR also has that type of thing to where you can actually put on goggles, and then you can like appear on a beach or appear, in different locations around the world. I think you can use VR with Google Maps now too as well. Little things like that. But that's only one video. But this was quite a brainstorm. But those are just some ideas for you on some things that you might be able to do to overcome that. But you're definitely gonna have to get creative. CRWBZ says the goal is to have fun, and the question is, I've kept small on YouTube ever since I made my channel, and I've followed loads of tutorials, but nothing's happening. So if you are following the tutorials but nothing's happening, it's because you're not legitimately applying the information that you're hearing. So if you're doing like a talk/gaming channel, I'm guessing it's probably going to come down to the actual content itself, or it's going to come down to how you're writing your titles and thumbnails. Because it's always either a discovery problem or a content problem, right? So it's one of those things. If your channel's not growing, you have a content, or you have a discovery problem, or you have a content problem. Discovery is you can't get people to actually click on what it is that you're doing, or there's no real clarity on what your video is about. So there's no real clear place to put it or who to put it in front of. Or once they do click on it, your content isn't great. And not saying that that's your case, but I'm saying if you do have the discovery problem, you do have the content problem, they do click on it, your content's not great, people leave quickly, and then that causes the video to die or to fade away quickly. All right. So on that note, I want to just go ahead and say thank you, everybody, for hanging out in the live stream today. Hope that you learned something here. Make sure if you haven't yet that you give this video a thumbs up. Also want to remind you that there are links down in the description. If you are going to be heading out right now, go ahead and, there's valuable links and to resources and stuff down in the description of this video or this live stream where you can find things that will bring value to you. So make sure that you click down in the description and check out some of those things. Also, this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy. If you haven't installed TubeBuddy yet, make sure that you do. It's free to install and try for channels under 1,000 subscribers, you actually get a discount on it if you do decide to upgrade. And for people that, have functioning channels or channels that are actually moving along, you definitely want to have TubeBuddy and you want to be using it. You'll instantly see the value in it. And it's also co-sponsored by StreamYard, which is hands down the easiest live streaming platform on earth. So if you have a, low quality computer in terms of the processing power, or you just want a really easy way to go live, to start live streaming, make sure you check out StreamYard.com. A link to them is also down in the description below as well. And then I've got a bunch of stuff, that I offer down there as well. YouTube Creator Academy, stuff like that down in the description also. Also, make sure that you click in that link up at the very top. If you want to continue your YouTube education, click the link at the top of the chat right now. It leads you into my most recent videos playlist. So you can go in there and you can catch up on any of the topics that are relevant to you and the things that you care about, as soon as this live stream is turned off. And I also want to let you know that video influencers, if you want to, hang out in some more live streams today, video influencers is probably, because they do it at 12 o'clock, my local time every Saturday. So I'm pretty sure they're probably going to be going live here in about 30 minutes. So if you want to continue the conversation there, I know Roberto Blake is going live over on Twitch like a lot right now. I know he has been doing that on Saturdays as well. So if you want more live streaming, you can hang out with him there also. And besides that, everybody have an awesome rest of your weekend. Keep grinding it out. If you're one of those people that you're like, hey, I'm putting in all this work, nothing's really working yet, just keep at it, keep focusing, keep learning, keep applying all the stuff that you learned during this live stream. You can do it. I'm rooting for you. I know that you can. If I can do this, you definitely can do it. So make sure that you just keep applying the stuff that you learn, all the information that you pick up in these live streams, because just listening doesn't do much. You have to actually take it and put the information to work so that you can see what it can do for you once you actually start applying all the stuff that we talk about here. You've seen, through the different super chats that have come in of people saying how the information has helped them and things like that. You can see how effective the information is. So the only thing that you have to do is apply that to what it is that you're doing, be objective about what it is that you're doing, and just keep working on it so that you can keep improving and get the results that you're after here on YouTube. So thank you everybody so much for hanging out. Thank you for spending this time with me. Really appreciate it. Roger Wakefield saying implement. And again, Roger, thank you for the massive super chat, and everybody that super chatted here during the live stream today. I appreciate it. And everybody that's hung out here and that has spent time here in the live stream today, thank you as well. It's appreciated. And again, hope you learned something today. And I will see you guys next Saturday. And I'll see you, of course, this coming week in a video as well. So be safe out there, and I will see you guys soon.
Thanks for watching Nimin Live, brought to you by TubeBuddy. Remember to follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Have a great week.
I think I'm gonna go play some Fortnite. If anybody is a Fortnite player, I think I'm gonna go play some Fortnite here after I shut this thing down. Beanie, you'll probably remember this one from a Twitch stream. What's your question, Pablo? I'll let this play quietly in the background. What's your question, Pablo? I got you right now, man. Go ahead and answer. Since everybody left, go ahead and answer. Let's see here. So we've got, let's see here, play the Brian G. Johnson diss track. Yeah. For those of you that are not familiar, let me see if I have that on my iPad. Here, give me 1 second. Yes. Yeah, I figured, you know what? I'm just going to, I figured I'm just going to just play some fun stuff here. Man, I wish I could route Logic through this because I can route it through as a remote, but I've got some really fun stuff. Oh, I can drop it on my phone. Here, give me 1 second. So I've got this. Oh, you know what? I can't play that because of, copyright here. Hold on. Let me mute this really quick. Let me see what I can play. What did Pablo say? You like that slide, Roger? Yeah, man, it's cool. So the slide locally, well, in the States, I think you can get these off Amazon for like 300 bucks, I think. But yeah, it definitely, yeah, I think it looks cool, right? So I'm having like a few weird things with it. I think I just got to tighten things down a little bit better, but I'm having some weird things with it to where like it like twists a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So I can make it to where it'll slide across, or it'll just like slide kind of like a parallax to where, you know, it does kind of what it's doing right now, to where it focuses on one center point and then slides around it. So it's almost like it does it like on a curve, but it's just going with one thing here. Okay, I'm going to mute this really quick so I can play this, just so I can see if I can put this on the stream or not. Hold on. Yeah, I can't. Okay, so anyone, I've got one just for fun. Like I'm doing a song like just for entertainment purposes. It's about getting views and subscribers. But it's pretty funny. It's like get views, get subs. What is it like? Get views, get subs. Get views, get subs, have fun, get your numbers up is kind of like the thing for it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so Pablo, did you drop your question? Okay, student safety is a big issue. I could never live with myself if a predator got to my student's family because I showed their whole name. I'm not sure what the rest of that question is. Let's see here. So we've got, yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, you're trying to cover their full name. Got it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you would do that in OBS outside of just not using the chat. Out of the CSS, you might be able to adjust the chat there to where it's not, you know, where it doesn't expose them or whatever. But I'm not sure. Let's see, what's this one? Nope. All right. So now that everybody's gone, who wants a channel review? All right, let's see here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do a channel review. I was just joking. I just wanted to see if anybody would be like, oh crap, I want one. But yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do channel reviews right now. But I'm thinking, just as a little insight here, I think that maybe next week next week is going to be the group stream. So possibly the week after that might be a review stream, to where at the end I might end up doing some reviews. Just kind of queue them up, during the stream and whatnot. So I'm considering that. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I might be doing that here coming up relatively soon. So that'll be cool. That'll be fun. All right. So this time I really mean it. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Hope that you guys have an awesome weekend, and thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in the stream. You are all massively appreciated, and everybody have an awesome rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching Nimin Live, brought to you by TubeBuddy. Remember to follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Have a great week.